At the moment, Longmuir will go for the ruck, but looking around the ground, they're certainly undersized. There's Daniel Bandy.
Cooter in the middle too, Dennis.
Umpire Rosebery. Start of it then. Opening bounce of the season, at least here at Subiaco. One down, Hazelby. Towards half forward, tailor-made for McKay there. Knocks it to the ground. Pavlich fell over. Coops juggles it. Coops about 65 metres out from goal. Terrible kick inside the 50. Fletcher goes to ground. Opportunity for Pavlich. Into the path of Cook. Cook, sharpshooter. No, it'll fall in short. And Modra. Tony Modra, 10 metres out, will register the first score in this game.
Well, that really is a great mark by Tony Modra, considering he's playing on the full back of the century. And a very... Oh, no, sorry, Glenn Manton, my apologies there. But Manton's normally pretty good in a one-on-one situation. And Tony has, from what we can gather, struggled a little bit during the pre-season. So this is going to give him a lot of confidence.
Tony Modra directly in front. Should be a formality. Gets the goal. Docker's on the board.
It was actually a very good kick from Troy Cook. We know his work rate is very, very high. He's run deep down into attack and just screwed that ball into position where Modra was one out with Manton, obviously, but Modra was able to use his nous. Great little handball through there from Pavlich as Cook runs onto the footy, just into a dangerous area, and Modra one-on-one, very difficult to stop.
It can be pretty important for those midfielders of Fremantle to get on top of the Carlton midfielders, because that is a very strong combination.
So a bold tactic by Damien Drum. Daniel Bandy standing on the bench. The tallest Docker. Rucks go at it again. Ellen taps it down. Trying to crash his way through Freeborn. Gets a hand pass away. Intended for Camporelli. Stolen by Norris. The kick comes out towards left half forward. It pitches and bounces on its head back towards the middle. Socket off the ground inadvertently almost there by Hazelby. Coming through was Toya. The kick from Bell meantime towards half forward. Hazelby on his knees. Gets it across to support Bootsma. Toya 45 metres out. Silvani turns around and finds the footy. Now he's away. Little chip pass in short towards half back. Bradley's got it. Kicks to centre half back. Ratton. Camporelli. Allen is on across the outer side. Closing is Fletcher. Did well to knock it to the ground. Coming up the ground is Modra, a long way from goal. Paddled towards the line by Houlihan. Boundary throw in.
Just having a look here at Paul Hazelby feeding the ball out. And Lukey Toy, who had a sensational game against Carlton last year when he got 27 possessions.
Here he is again on cue, taken high, was he?
Yep. Well, he puts his body on the line, Toya. That's the reason why he dislocated his elbow in the pre-season competition. Played the last couple of matches for Subiaco Oval. And look, similar in style to Bell, Cook and Hazelby and co, but he's a hard nut. This distance will cause him problems. He'll have to kick it from about 52. I think he's going to wait for a lead here.
Fremantle leading by 6 points. Luke Toya. Centering kick, set up for Shell. Silvani close there with him. Ratton cleverly. Now gets the kick off. Manton in the opposite pocket. Glenn Manton. Out of defence, up towards half back. Taken by Ratton again. Grover, tackled by Fletcher. The ball jarred out of there. Ratton throws it on the boot and gains about 25 metres. So boundary throw in on the wing.
Then just quickly, the Carlton bench is Backwell, Massey, Favola's there and Culpit.
Longmuir goes across with Allen. Glenn Manton, recently a dad. Archie Wolf, I think, is the son. I guess he's watching tonight. Longmuir down towards half forward. Coops is in front. McKay got a fist in there. Camporelli, did he have the footy? No, according to umpire McLaren. So a man who knocked up getting possessions last season. He started in that vein tonight. He comes across the ground, setting Rice a task, knocks it to his own advantage. Could have almost got a free kick. Hazelby was going over the top. Hazelby knocks it back to a voice from Grover. Grover paddles it towards the boundary line, chips, and out of bounds on the full. He missed by only a couple of centimetres there, so suffice to say it wasn't centimetre perfect, but it didn't miss by much.
And just a little bit of pressure really from the Carlton defenders there to force it out of bounds on the full.
Rice only as far as Fletcher. Was it Freeborn? Freeborn, in fact, took the kick.
Porter starting forward for Carlton. Dennis Shane Parker, his opponent. Kudafiti started the game in the centre of the ground, but he's moved forward as well.
Here's Carr then, out of defence. High ball towards half forward. Going back is Porter. Couldn't hang on. Hazelby created some space and kicks for space. Modra on the lead, takes the mark. He's already got one. And this is a fairy tale start for the veteran Tony Modra. His best effort against Carlton, 13 goals. Round 1, 1994 at Football Park, obviously as a Crow.
Well, it was a great pass in there from Hazelby, but Modra already causing some problems for Manton. It'll be interesting to see how long before Stephen Silvani may get switched back onto him if this keeps up.
Archie Wolf is closing his eyes. There goes the kick from Modra, and he's missed. You can look again. So behind.
Solid start, all the same from Fremantle. I guess that, you know, their confidence is at an all-time low after this pre-season. So just a good solid start. Definitely haven't got blown out of the contest.
One of the greats in the back pocket. Great to see him back. Silvani goes in short. Another legend, Bradley.
And this is a man they can't afford to allow to get easy free kicks like that. Otherwise, he's just going to tear him apart along with Camporelli and Ratton and the rest of their midfielders. So they have to man up pretty early, the Dockers.
Beaumont, a probing kick in from the side. Brown almost the mark. A chance for Carlton. It spills wide to Kudafidis, running down towards the 50.
Kick.
Clever kick. Houlihan's got it 45 metres from goal.
Just heard the voice then, Dennis. It was a remarkable little deft pass from Kuda. He just would have known Houlihan as he's gone in short to Lappin. Ooh. That was a bit too easy. Heath Black just caught on his haunches there and just allowed Lappin to come in. And I guess for Lappin's sake, given the week he's had, this would be good for his confidence.
With the words of John Elliott ringing in his ears, Matthew Lappin goes back to take a shot at goal.
Gee, it was a bit too easy, wasn't it? There was heaps of space for him to run into, and Heath Black's he's not slow. We know Lappin's pretty quick, but just got to concentrate there.
Lappin from 35 metres out lights it off the boot. First one for the Blues. They trail by a point.
Yeah, Ben, you mentioned the amount of space there that Lappin had to run into, and that's what the Fremantle midfielders have to do. They've got to push back and make sure that there isn't the easy passage for the Carlton forwards to push out into, because they're a very smart unit. They outscored in terms of goals for the season, something like about 120 more goals. So they've got some firepower up front. And Lappin had a reasonably good year last year, 33 goals, so he knows where to find them.
7 plays 6 early going at Subi. Round 1 action. Fremantle against Carlton. Carlton the red hot favourites. Allen did brilliantly. Got it down to Ratton. A high kick well inside the 50. Grover going back, but a timely fist on it. Forced to Parker. Parker deep in his defensive area. Heads for the boundary line. And that's gone in and out. Takes a bit of practicing.
That was
a boundary throw-in.
Brilliant tap from Matthew Allen. Straight down the throat of Brett Ratton off one step. He's able to kick that 50 metres deep inside 50. That's the one area the Dockers just got to be tight. Just get right on Ratton.
Porter this time opposed to Longmuir. The latter wins it down. Arriving quickly as Bell feeds it back, conceding some ground. Parker the fumble back to Bell. Hume, good pressure. Did it affect the kick? Not enough. Across it comes to Carr in the opposite pocket. Carr changes direction to Black. Very left-sided Black. Plenty of time, though. Drives it up towards the wing. Bradley and Hazelby. This will be interesting. That time reduced to the role of spoiler. Hazelby knocks it across the boundary line.
Well, in both incidents that time, when they brought it out to their pocket in the first place, they had nowhere to go, and then switching the play, they thought they could get away from the strength of Carlton, but they had the numbers over there already. So Carlton getting players to the fall of the ball.
Allen directs it down in front. Ratton taken front on by Norwich. It was at Toyer. Toyer got him down and was hit in the face. Scrambled kick comes out of the congestion. Taken by Freeborn. Away to Beaumont on the burst from half back. Kicking down towards half forward. Jones in best position. Clears him though. Tries to knock it towards the boundary. Succeeds. Gets it out of bounds. Whitnell stayed on his feet.
You mentioned Beaumont there a minute ago. An interesting matchup with Beaumont playing on Pavlich at centre back, centre forward. We're just checking to see whether that's a free kick there, but I think that was okay.
Let him play. Ratton throws it on the boot, gains about 20 metres. Bell goes back with some time again. Black.
Nowhere to go.
Needs to use it. Norwich is running hard for him though. Well run by Norwich down the ground. Created some space between him and his marker. Goes in short. Bootsma peeling off from half-back, kicks it down towards half-forward. Beaumont reaching over the top, knocked it away from Pavlich. Look-away hand pass from Fletcher. Taken by Bradley, though. Bradley, short one. Houlihan stretches. Beaumont drifts past, not required. Houlihan will kick for distance. Whitnell comes on the lead. Good-looking kick. Oh, well done by Norrish. Timely hand in there. Leads back in the race. Over the top, Freeborn. Goes on to the next man, Bell. Bell sold Bootsman into trouble. Here's a chance for Bell. Strong tackle on Black, though, by Whitnell, and the ball is jarred across the boundary line.
Already Peter Bell doing a lot of his work in defence, Chris. You know, we need him to run the lines, or the Fremantle Dockers need him to run the lines, but he's just been getting back there and just helping out the defence.
Boundary throw in just outside the attacking 50 then for the Blues. Holding on to Allen, I thought. No free kick. Toyer is dragged down by Lappin. The ball's not coming out.
Speaking of plays, Brett Ratton's already had 7 possessions in this first quarter. Now Fletcher's playing on him and he's had 3 possessions, and he just can't afford to allow Brett Ratton to dictate these games, because I believe Ratton is the key to Carlton.
Always in, tight, close, working hard. Allen comes over the top. Fletcher out of defence. Bradley takes the mark and holds up.
Sorry, Dennis, Fletcher must have been listening to me straight away.
Camporelli, I'm sure he does. Camporelli down towards half forward. Knocked away by Brown down there. Taken by Carr. Lappin slow to get up. Beaumont reaches over the top again and thumps it forward. Bootsma tackled by Camporelli, but not before he got it to Hazelby. Sets it up for Shell. Silvani knocks it away. The deflection favours Matten, who was pushed in the back. Play on's the call. Shell soccers off the ground and gets it behind. Matten a bit stiff.
Interesting, the matchup that Carlton have employed in their defence. Matten on Modra, you'd think Modra would be a lot stronger, and Beaumont on Pavlich, you mentioned. Beaumont on the lead, you'd think be able to keep up with Pavlich pretty easily, but the long ball coming in, you think Pavlich should be able to outmark him.
Yep, totally agree with you there.
Bradley, Silvani, changing the roles around. Last time coming in, it was Silvani to Bradley. Koutafidis has got the ball on the outer side. Got it from Fletcher. Goes to half forward. Allen. Now, he was going on, but he was on the boundary line. Well, if he played on, he was out of bounds, surely. And the umpires decide, yes, he was. So, boundary throw in.
He was just undecided whether to continue on then, Dennis, and...
Good talking, Chris.
He's no Russell Crowe, is he?
We're speaking the same language. A couple of mean you stop. Diving on top of it. He's Lappin. He's going nowhere. Held up by Black. Holding the ball's the call.
I tell you what, that was very well done by Black, because he almost sort of pushed him down into the ground on top of the ball to force him to make sure he couldn't bring the ball out.
Black out of defence. Inside the centre square. Great mark by Fletcher. Wonderful courage going back, knowing that Beaumont and the big fellow Pavlich were coming up. Swinging it out wide, Fletcher. Another possession for Ratton. Pulls it back towards the middle. Ill-directed, though. Straight to Black, who's having a good turn. Goes short to Fletcher. Fletcher, intent on drawing a man. Steps around Ratton. Pinpoints the ball. Finds Hazelby. He's on the wing. Hazelby off his step. Having to wait is Toyer. Coming back once again is Fletcher. He's made that his specialty. Couldn't hang on that time. Toyer is claimed immediately and wrestled. Bulldogged to the ground.
Got to say, that wasn't a smart move by Paul Hazelby. He should have got back further off the mark. He was too close. It forced him to kick up and under. And Lukey Toyle, who's one of the smallest players on the ground, was just always going to be in a difficult situation.
Didn't get there quick enough, did it?
No.
Allen taken high, I thought. Again, no free. Fletcher to Bootsma. Kicks inside the 50. Modra leapt early. It was knocked away down there. In front, Brown. Run down by Houlihan. Jarred out to Pavlich. His hand passed towards the goal square. 50-50 ball. Coming back was Bradley. Tackled by Modra over his shoulder. Silvani slides in. Knocks it out to accommodate the voice Bradley. This is Houlihan. Hard against the lines. Comes away. Chip pass as well. Koutafidis in space. He's in the back pocket. It kicks up towards the wing. Favola on the lead. Pushed in the back. That was clumsy by Parker, because it seemed obvious the ball was going to carry the pair of them.
And they can't give Koutafidis that much space. They've got to give him the respect he deserves. He's starting forward. Lee Brown is his opponent, but when he takes him up the ground, he's got to stay with him.
Favola's kick. Carr was up very high. Houghton behind. Gathers the ball. Immediately taken down by Grover. The tackling good from the Dockers. Camporelli smothered brilliantly off the boot by Grover. Parker's hand pass came across to support it. Was it Brown? Brown to Hazelby. And Pavlich gets on the end of it 60 metres from goal.
That's that matchup we were talking about, isn't it? The Pavlich is always going to beat Beaumont generally in the air.
Pavlich bypasses Modric,
Good
getting
kick.
in behind the defence there. Norris, well played by Fletcher, got back just in the nick of time. Norris claimed by McKay. It's jarred out of there. Coops goes after it. Lappin on his knees, got it across eventually to Hume. It was well worked. They'll bring it away. Fletcher got the hand pass, and the beneficiary is McKay, who boots it up towards the wing. Koutafidis was held, mattered not. Advantage is paid. He did take the mark, but the free kick was paid. Kick comes inside the centre square, taken by Ratton. Ratton on a step, spotted Freeborn in space, runs inside the 50. Wrong foot's Bell, kicks from about 40. I think he's just missed. Good movement though by the Blues that time.
Gee, Fletcher's done it 3 times, hasn't he, Dennis? I know you've called it, but just going back with the flight of the ball, it's almost the hardest thing to do in footy, as we see, well, a terrible sign. Peter Bell coming off grimacing.
Yeah, he's injured, Maney. Bad news for the Dockers. He got injured earlier in the game. It doesn't look good.
Camporelli inside the 50, combining with Ratton. The centering kick knocked away from Koutafidis down there. Crashing in was Whitnell. This ball is about 25 metres out from the Dockers' defensive goal. Koutafidis again clever. Got it across towards Freeborn. Houlihan throws it on the boot, and he's missed to the left-hand side.
Peter Bell's got a cork, boys. A cork in his cork in his thigh. They're looking at it now.
We'll just take a quick look at this. There's Freeborn, his shot on goal, and we're certainly not from that incident where he got it anyway, Adrian. But both sides are pretty keen to throw their bodies on the line at the moment, as you'd expect in the first quarter of the opening game of the season.
Parker kicks off. Coming back was Brown, knocked away by Allen. Freeborn to Allen, spots him out towards the middle. In fact, a couple of them. It was a wayward kick, though, and Jones, surrounded by Carlton players, got a very good break. He kicks it back to midfield. Toya knocks it on. Fletcher could have been pushed in the back. Bradley's got it, though. Bradley back towards half forward for the Blues. Koutafidis thought about flying, stayed down. Houlihan clever, gets it across to Camporelli. Even cleverer, goes back to Houlihan. 25 metres out, threads it beautifully. Lovely goal.
Yes, well, a bit of teamwork there. And a little bit unfortunate, really, for the work that Anthony Jones did there, because he was in a spot of bother. He had 3 or 4 Carlton players and was able to clear the ball, but when it came forward, Camporelli and Houlihan were able to combine together. And Camporelli has been a little bit quiet at the moment. I thought Brad Bootsma has been doing a pretty good job on him, but he'd actually been drawn in to go and look after Houlihan. That set Camporelli free, came back to Houlihan, and an easy goal.
Brett Ratton, 10 possessions already, camped beneath them. Almost another one just over his head. His partner in crime, though, Camporelli, comes away with it. Probing kick inside the 50. Lappin, almost a brilliant mark, trying to work off Black. Immediately tied up. Brown is there. Black is there. Kaleidoscope as far as the men on the ground was concerned. Coming away and kicking the ball to the outer side is Jones, but the mark is taken by Fletcher to Bradley. He's released forward of the wing. Back inside the 50 comes the kick. Lappin this time takes the mark on his chest.
Well, the backmen of the Fremantle Dockers, the last 5 minutes have been under extreme pressure as we play on there, Dennis.
Lappin from 45 metres out tugs it way left.
I think the call should be made to, well, someone that's going to release Longmuir, because Allen already's been dominant in that centre bounce.
Carlton lead by 6 points then.
Dennis, just an update on Peter Bell. A bit more serious than I thought. It's actually a hit on his knee, so it'll be 50-50 from now on.
Thanks, Barrett.
They've got no real place to go along with this ball. They're going to have to go short.
That was a precise kick from Parker. Finds Cook just in from the boundary line. Troy Cook, best and fairest last season. Kicking up towards the wing. Houghton over the top. Carr deflected down to Norris. Back to Carr. Carr, the clever kick up towards the wing, finds Walker. That was well worked.
It was a nice kick around the corner by Carr.
Very nice. Kicks towards centre half forward. Pavlich with the run. Tries to go over the top, but Rice stood his ground brilliantly. Another perennial favourite. Across he goes. This is Fletcher getting a lot of it towards half forward. Going back with great courage was Hume. That hurt. Lappin is hurt as well. The crumbs came to Grover meantime. Up towards the wing, Longmuir lays it off. Hazelby. They just jog around the outer side. This is Grover forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Modra tumbling to the ground. Coming through there was Beaumont. Or was it Massey? The hand pass came across. It was Beaumont. And kicked towards the outer side by McKay. Allen hard against the line. Feeds it back to the middle. Houlihan. Houlihan down towards half forward. Koutafidis. 7 possessions so far. This is his 8th.
Glad he's
65
underdone.
metres. Yep, 65 metres from goal, coming off a remarkable season last season. And Parker goes back down there with the bowler and knocks it across the line.
It just seems at the moment that, oh, there's a nasty cut there to Hume, you can see on the screen. But this is the reason why. Gutsy performance backing into that pack. He wasn't worried about the well-being of himself. And little wonder he's copped the one on the head. He's coming straight off. So, under the blood rule now, you can come straight off. You don't have to come through the interchange.
Gee, that was an interesting one. All Lappin had to do there, he had his teammate and Blake. He was right in the middle of him. He just had to stand back a bit and let young Hume come back. He would have marked that.
A little bit of lack of talk too, I would think. Probably Ben out there.
It's a bit hard to criticise, I guess, if he wants the footy.
Yep.
He's had a tough week, but we won't mention that again.
Boundary throw in, Longmuir behind the pack. There's a chance for Lappin, who snaps. I think he's got the goal.
Well, that's Lappin's second goal already, and it was way too easy getting that because that was over the back of the pack. That's almost, you just don't do this. Have a look at this. He's read it very well. Mind you, his player was directly on him, so a little bit hard to be critical of his defender.
He's right on him. I reckon the disappointing thing about that is it's after a break in play. There's been a player come off for the blood rule.
So Wayne Britton's first night as far as the regular season is concerned. And his side are up by 13 points, but you get the feeling he's getting a bit of help at the moment from his president. Because Lappin is fired up. He's really working hard on the forward line. He's kicked 2 goals. Adrian Fletcher's got a free kick alongside the centre circle. Out to Black, untidy hand pass, but at least he's a left footer, so that helps him a little bit. He comes to the wing and kicks to half forward over Norris's head. Coming up to mid at Coops, in close attendance there McKay. Behind is Pavlich, trying to dig the ball out. Eventually it comes to Norris. Hazelby was the man who got it up. Pavlich is down there.
On the full.
And out of bounds on the full by Beaumont.
It wasn't a bad effort, but unfortunately, just the execution probably wasn't done well. But he was certainly just trying to get it over there. Almost been kicking in danger anyway. Now, will he take a shot on goal, or will he try to find a player spare? He's looking around, isn't he?
Yeah, deep in the pocket. Matthew Pavlich. Seen him get these before, so just needs to move a little right. He does. Pulls it back. And I think he's going to cross the face and through for a behind. Working hard on the forward line, Pavlich, putting himself about. Was the long option last time as they came in. They went shorter.
You've got Freeborn out on our side here. He's well and truly on his own. Now they're starting to come back and pick him up. And Docker started off all right, but
Coops is actually off with a blood rule, so there's a little bit of break in play. And Dion Woods comes on for his first run.
Interesting. Bandy's still sitting on the bench, boys, here.
You've got to wonder how long before they put him on, don't you?
Porter has come off, though. I'll give him that. Porter got dragged to the ground, and Favola was put into their forward line.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit top heavy, that's all. Barrow just down in their forward line. Favola a bit more nimble on his feet.
Carlton 3-3. Fremantle 1-3 as Bradley kicks off and goes for distance around the outer side. In from the side, Allen knocks it down. Toya's over the ball. Was he taken high? Not according to the umpire. And the bounce about 70 metres out from the Dockers' attacking goal. And we've got just under 4 minutes remaining till quarter time.
Anthony Jones has been pretty good on Whitnell. He's obviously been given a pretty tough ask, but Whitnell hasn't touched the footy as yet.
Longmuir and Allen looking for contact, both of them. Allen had the ball and dropped it to his feet. Over the top is Bradley trying to work his way out of there, going nowhere. Silvani, Bradley and Longmuir. And again the umpire will ball it up, Scott McLaren.
And that's got to be one of Carlton's strengths, is certainly in the close packs. They're very good with the likes of Ratton, Camporeale, Hume's in there, Bradley himself. The Dockers got to get in there first.
Long time since the Dockers' only goal. Early in the game, of course, Tony Modra the first one, as Ratton gets another possession, kicks it out wide, it bounces out of bounds 3 times. Best and fairest at Carlton. He tied with Scott Camporeale last season.
That's 11 possessions already in the first quarter.
Well, I'm just trying to, I mean, Fletcher's definitely his opponent, but it's definitely not a close checking assignment.
It's not good when you can't tell. Toya tries to go through the pack. Here's Cook hard against the boundary line. A high ball pulling it back towards the attacking 50. Beaumont spikes it forward. Now a chance for Toya, 60 metres out, gets it to Bootsma. Charge down, great courage. McKay coming through. Houlihan a little nonchalant. Parker stood up nicely, got the hand pass away. Bootsma runs onto the ball, kicks inside the 50. Shell is going back with great courage though in front. The mark is taken by Silvani.
It was a great mark. Oh, absolutely fantastic, Stephen Silvani.
Never in that contest took the mark, if it makes sense. Houlihan to Allen. He's at left half back, time and space, measures the kick.
Well
Jones, nicely done, worked off his man, just pushed off Whitnell, takes the mark on his chest, jabs it back towards the wing, made it difficult for Cook, crashing in there Rat, and he was holding on, so Cook will take this free kick. Just over 2 minutes to quarter time. In the half light now. Evening here in Perth. Pavlich, uncontested, a chest mark.
Nobody wanted that, and the only person that did has ended up with the mark.
Modra comes on the lead. Manton step for step with him. Modra almost the clever mark. Camped in front. Hazelby snaps. It looks pretty good. I think it's a goal. It is.
Well, it was brilliant roving, wasn't it, from Hazelby? A clinical finish. But Modra, Pavlich, they both provided a contest in this first quarter, and when your key forwards provide a contest, the smalls of the side can get into a position whereby they think, you know, the ball in reasonable certainty is going to fall. Hazelby, perfect position, but just as an impressive finish.
And I love the way Tony Modra jumped early there. That was the difference too.
So Carlton lead by 6 points. 3-3 plays 2-3. Ratton overran at that time. Allen, interesting hand pass, improvising, coming through as Fletcher with plenty of support. Cook is away, going down towards half forward. Modra comes on the lead, beautiful pass, well led, and Modra will kick it goal to level the scores from 40 metres out. He's looking much more lively than at any time in the pre-season.
Yeah, there was some concern coming into this game whether Tony Modra was back to some of the form that we've been used to him. He'd only kicked, I think, 5 goals in the pre-season, but he is convincingly, I would say, beating Glenn Manton at the moment, which is good news for Damien Drum. But
and there's more good news, matey. There's more good news. Peter Bell running along the boundary.
Wayne Britton will certainly size it up at quarter time, I would think, of whether he's going to keep him on.
Obviously a bit of pain there for Bell. Here's Modra meantime. This to level the scores. Good looking kick. He's got his second.
Well, the pleasing thing about that was obviously the skill. I mean, Cooks hit Modra right on the chest, but even more impressive was the space with which Modra had to run into. It was good pressure in the midfield from Freo Dockers. Fletcher runs onto the footy, but just you couldn't see on screen, but there was a huge amount of space for Modra, and that's his strength. You've just got to clear it open for him and allow him to run into that space.
Koutafidis has now come back into the centre. He was down at the forward pocket, so just moving around is Kouta.
So Tony Modra's got 2 goals. Up until he injured his shoulder last season, he was in terrific form. 27 goals in the opening 6 rounds, so he was playing pretty well. Didn't come back the same player. Is Fletcher being held? Not according to the umpire. Houghton slides in, nicely worked. Koutafidis got it away to Ratton. Getting over the ball was Freeborn. Got plenty of company. Then there is Cook, and the umpire wants it. About 55 metres from Carlton's attacking goal, inside the last minute. Troy Cook, best and fairest when he averaged 22 possessions a game for Fremantle last year, up from 6 with Sydney in '99. One down by Longmuir, working hard. Freeborn across the body. Jones doing well on Whitnell, who hasn't seen much of it. Jones squares the ball to Carr. Carr up from the back pocket. Coming hard is Coops. Coops on the wing, gets down and takes the mark. Well worked by the Dockers. Good skills there. Fletcher is on. The kick goes in that direction. Fletcher just drifting in behind. Another Docker for a hard road. He's got this ball down towards right half forward. 15 seconds to go. He's taking his time. It will need a mark here if they're to score. Fletcher loads up. Cook coming across. Manton coming back. Cook on the spoil. Manton valiant attempt at the mark. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw in. Clock stops on 1 second. So we've seen all the action we're going to see.
Well, with 1 second to go, Blacks had 6, Fletcher 9, Hazelby 8, Bootsma 8 for the Dockers, and for Carlton, Camporelli 8, Ratton's had 11, Koutafidis 9, and Houlihan 8, and Bradley 13.
So quarter time, interesting affair. Fremantle got the first goal, Carlton the next 3, Fremantle the last 2. And Peter Bell, that's a question mark going into the second quarter. He was grimacing as he worked around the boundary line. But Tony Modra started and finished the term in very good fashion. He's got 2 goals. Matthew Lappin has been the star on the forward line for Carlton. He's also booted 2. In the midfield, though, no surprises there. Brett Ratton, 11 possessions. Anthony Koutafidis has started well as well with 9 possessions. Bootsma's had 8 for the Dockers, as has Paul Hazelby. Adrian Fletcher has had 9. It's quarter time. Fremantle 3-3. Carlton a 3-3. Start of the second term. Scores are level. No breeze to speak of, just a glorious night. 22 degrees at the moment. The top just under 30. Earlier today looking for a minimum of 16. Hume bandaged up, tries to go back to Freeborn, stolen out of there. Another possession for Fletcher, got it across to Bootsma, kicks inside the 50, fisted away by Manton. Beaumont couldn't do much with it. Toyer emerges with a footy, throws it on the boot, and the crowd erupts. Luke Toyer, goal.
Well, I've got to say, I really like Lukey Toyer. He's done it pretty hard to get back into the sort of side because he's had a couple of injuries. And even in pre-season he went down with another one, and they didn't think they were going to get him back until later on during the year. But he's just such a hard little worker. He's in and he's out, and he really has got a lot of voice out there. He really gets the players G'd up, and of course that's the best way to get him going is with a goal. And similar to the first quarter, they've got one on the board very early. Now they really need to get 2 or 3 in a row.
So the Dockers on top by that goal. Early going second term. Longmuir has to wait. Allen comes over the top, knocked it down. Fletcher gets it away towards Cook. It was jarred out of there. Crashing in is Hume. He's over the ball, tries to dig it out. The bodies go in willingly. And we'll have a ball up. There's Lappin, the goal scorer, the predominant goal scorer for the Blues. He's got 2 of 3. Another bounce. Longmuir working hard, trying hard against one of the premier ruckmen in the league. Number 24, Allen, who wins it down. Cook almost sharked it. Freeborn had it, lost it. Comes back towards Cook. Freeborn waiting in the queue. Dragged down. This is Hume. Gets the hand pass to Camporelli. Camporelli about 60 metres out. Sets it up very high. Nobody back for Carlton. Grover took some time. Gets the hand pass towards Blackhand or the goal umpire. To behind.
And Brad Bootsma certainly put Scott Camporelli under a bit of pressure after he kicked that ball. He likes it very physical, does Brad Bootsma. Of course, made his debut last year at the age of 27.
Heath Black, precise kick, a beauty. Carr drops it just inside the boundary line. Surprised at the precision. Oh. Now he's in trouble. A hand pass untidy. Back towards Parker. Hume is there trying to move the ball forward any way he can. Parker's wrestled to the ground. The ball's not coming out. Now Parker gets a late free kick. He was taken high belatedly. And he's going to get the ball, and the Dockers need to forget about this. Camporelli and Bootsma on a short fuse, but Parker, wasting no time, goes directly across the ground.
Carr's on, up the ground.
Brown's got it. Alongside Carr is Norrish. Brown, probing kick. Well, it wasn't a particularly good one. Neither of them favoured by that kick, and the ball is knocked across the line eventually by Fletcher. They continue to work on Peter Bell.
Dennis Bell has had to limp off the ground. He's come off the ground, started that quarter, came off the ground now, and it looks in a bit of serious trouble now. Walker's gone on.
Adrian Barrett prowling the boundary line, tossed in. Allen got a hand to it. Ratton off his step in characteristic fashion, kicks down towards half forward. Lappin tackled immediately by Parker, taken by Carr, spins out of trouble, gets it to Cook. Cook running down towards half forward, kicks well inside the 50. Manton worked under the ball by Modra, almost juggled the mark. Cooks has got it anyway. Another goal for the Dockers.
Well, that's very good work there by Troy Cook. He had 2 options there, whether to go to Shell out in the pocket or whether to go deep to the full forward line and go for a one-on-one with Modra and Manton, and wasn't really quite sure there in a way whether Modra just got into the back of Manton.
I think this replay will show it.
Let's just have a look. And I think Glenn Manton's very unlucky there, and I think the Dockers are very lucky to got the goal. However, you go with what the umpire's given you, and they've got the goal on the board. And Stephen Cooch, we haven't seen a lot of him tonight. He's been well held by McKay. He's only had the 2 possessions, so
Well, that was line ball. Was it a push in the back? Matters not. The goal is on the scorecard. Allen directs it down to Koutafidis. Gets the hand pass away to Camporelli. Camporelli kicking towards half forward. Storming up was Whitnell. Couldn't control it on his knees. Ratton gets it to Hume. He's 60 metres out. Hume unloads. Vacant goal square. Will it run on? Yes, it will. It's a goal. Hume working hard.
Well, the clearances for both sides, Maney, has been very definite. I mean, either at Dockers or Eagles, whoever gets it out, they can get it deep into attack. And I think that's one of the reasons for that is both half-forward lines tend to drift back into the 50-metre zone. So if you do get your hands on the footy in the centre of the ground, you can run forward and be quite dangerous with the depth that you can get on your kick.
5-3 to 4-4. Dockers on top by 5 points. Good running goal from Hume. Allen and Longmuir again. Longmuir did very well that time. Up, knocks the ball goalward too, and there is Fletcher. It spills wide. Camporelli, Fletcher. That's Fletcher for Carlton. Ratton got it to Camporelli. Koutafidis hesitated. Coops didn't. Taken by McKay. Dragged to ground. Koutafidis a half chance now on his knees. Gets the hand pass to Camporelli. This is Beaumont. Nicely worked again. Hume inside the centre square. Ratton runs on. 60 metres out. Longmuir's got him. It's going to be a free kick.
Wasn't that a great chase? That was just fantastic. Brett Ratton probably just could have got rid of the ball. Just went a little bit too far and he's paid the penalty.
Jones, metres in the clear. Running through midfield, probing kick towards half forward, and Pavlich up he goes, couldn't hang on. Camped in front was Hazelby, gets it across to Fletcher, gets the hand pass back to the running Jones, 60 metres out, getting back Silvani, touches it, couldn't complete the mark, it's a behind.
And you mentioned Jones before, he is well and truly on top of Whitnell. There you find him having a shot on goal, and Lance Whitnell was way off him, so
I'd be taking Whitnell back to the full forward line, bring Favola out to the half forward line. Just let him have a run around because he's been well on top, Jones, hasn't he?
Yep.
Manton and Silvani, and now McKay, not looking all that convincing. Freeborn's over the footy. Plenty of Dockers around him. Well played McKay. Straddled his teammate. Then he's in trouble. Knocked forward there by Freeborn. Across comes Bradley. Can't control it.
Actually, just get the feeling at the moment that the Dockers have just started to lift. They've got some confidence going and putting a little bit of pressure on Carlton. They're just starting to make a few mistakes at Carlton, just starting to fumble the ball a bit.
Boundary throw in other side. 5-4 to 4-4. Allen and Pavlich lock up. Okay, you saw him run across the path there of Coops, who wanted to fly. Now Coops has got the footy. Goes back towards Fletcher. Picked up by Fletcher. I know it's confusing. Taken by McKay. Kicks it up towards the wing. Close to the boundary line. It goes out. So Adrian was on the ground. And coming through was Simon.
I know Dockers doing very well, Chris, but I think the longer the game goes as sort of an arm wrestle, I think it falls into the likes of Ratton and Bradley. They're very, very smart. Yeah, experience, and just they're very good in. I think Dockers, they need to bring Bandy on or do just something to create a little bit of spark because they need to get a bit of a run on and get a couple of goals in front.
Peter Bell looking very unhappy down on the boundary line. As you'd expect, Houlihan at close quarters. This is Koutafidis. Kicks down towards the attacking 50. Jones fell over. It was a half volley, I thought. And the umpires paid the mark. So
it was a Michael Slater.
Jones comes away. Long kick towards our broadcast side. Fletcher and Ratton falls in front. Picked up there by Camporelli. He in turn was picked up. Well played by Fletcher down towards Lappin. Lappin is wrestled to the ground by Grover. And we'll have a ball up inside the 50.
They're pretty fierce at the moment, the Dockers. They're certainly putting Carlton under some pressure. Have a look at that tackle. He wasn't going anywhere.
Coming through strongly, Whitnell. Gets the hand pass away. Favola goes down towards the pocket. Brown favoured by the bounce. Up he comes, Brown. Storming away the defender, but the kick is not good.
Well, even if it went out on the full, he had nowhere to kick it up here because they had Massey, they had Fletcher, and they had Whitnell all up here. So Carlton, I think, would have got the ball anyway, but they mightn't have just got it so close to the goal.
If appearances count for anything, you would like that kick again. There's Favola right on the 50.
Oh, that's a good kick.
It's not a bad kick. Chris Mainwaring says it's a good kick. Right on the line. Off hands are behind. That was touch and go.
Bandy on the ground, boys. He's going into the forward line. Shell is off.
Favola almost getting the distance. Daniel Bandy onto the ground. Carr, who's been good. Good link man, he's got good skills. Originally drafted by Collingwood back in '95. Played close to 30 games for the Saints eventually, and now back at Fremantle. Oh, Hazelby, the big leap. Fletcher, camp behind, having a wonderful game. Freeborn in space. Whitnell, measure the kick. Finishes, or does he? I think he's got the goal. Lance Whitnell has kicked it.
Well, the goal did come from Whitnell, but Freeborn was 20-30 metres on his own in the corridor. And if there's one place you don't leave a player on his own, it's certainly in that position. And was way too easy. Basically came off the pack end. Who, of course, Brett Ratton. He's just the master at getting the ball in close. And it's ended up with Whitnell, as we said. He's been very well held by Jones tonight. But, of course, only still early in the game, so Jones just got to keep on him.
Well, Brett Ratton should be wearing asbestos shorts. 15 possessions so far. He is on fire. 5-5 to 5-4. Allen goes up a post to Longmuir. Allen got it on the way down. Toya leads back in the race. Ratton once more. The work rate's so high. Hazelby emerges with it though. Gets it across to Bootsma. Bootsma kicks inside the 50. Modra hangs back. Let it bounce. Bradley gets back. Gathers the bouncing ball. Deep in his own defensive area. And years of experience tell him to do exactly that.
Well, he looked over his left shoulder, try and release to the outer side. No one was on Dennis, and he had a quick look the other way, and he noticed, you just see him here, he's looked to the right and realised there's no one there. Just a second before that, he looked left. Just very, very smart play. Just let it, they got control of the footy, and they're very good releasing from the defensive zone from their point kick-ins, Carlton. Cooter's gone to full forward, by the way, Lee Brown, his opponent.
Okay, one of the great defenders of the competition goes out wide to accommodate Allen. They seem to play on. He's at right half back, kicks it up towards the wing. In from the side, Fletcher, virtually uncontested. Carlton lacking a little bit in coming to these contests on occasions. Standing back, Bandy's got it, his first possession. Jones providing good run off half back, goes towards half forward. Pavlich could have been hung on to. Silvani in characteristic fashion comes through, kicks towards half forward. That's better. Houlihan came hard at that ball and he's taken the mark just forward of the centre circle. Fletcher, Bootsma though read it well, got across, intercepts. Bootsma towards half forward for the Dockers. Longmuir goes up, knocked away down there by Allen. Chance for the crumb to come to McKay. Getting a boot in there though was Coops. It wanders down towards the pocket. Over the ball is Modra, taken out of the contest. Manton slips the hand pass away. Wide of Bradley, taken by Walker. Walker's hand pass concedes some ground. Freeborn grabs it just outside the defensive 50. Kicks it high towards the wing. Across goes Jones. Knocked away by Whitnell. Trumped nicely by Parker. Parker breaks away. The chip pass is on. Spots Modra. Modra just outside the 50. Goes long down towards full forward. His opposite number gets back. The man marking him, Manton, takes the mark about 5 metres out.
Got to say, probably wasn't the right kick from Tony Modra then. He sort of went as long as he possibly could, but he probably should have just dropped it a little bit more forward. There was two Dockers sitting in front of Manton.
Manton's kick not the best either. Bandy was up. Norrish, he's about 60 metres out. Interesting hand pass down towards the pocket, taken by Coops. Beats a couple of them. Well played back towards Bandy. Keeps it in Bandy. Camporelli soccers off the ground. The bandaged one. That's Hume. Oh, more bandages, please. That really hurt. He's got to get a free kick.
Well, that's a typical example of the player with his eye and over the footy and his head down. He's just got to be protected there.
Watch it again. Did he have the ball and did he go forward with it with his head down? Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Well, look, it's poor technique. I admit it's poor technique. He just needed to turn one of his shoulders in towards Jason Norris when he was low then. He just should be out. I reckon he's definitely seen him about half a metre before. He just needed to turn his body.
He's a tough son of a gun. That really was dangerous. And I think both parties there adding to the danger.
Look, he looks in trouble, doesn't he?
Oh. Dennis, this is an interesting one too because the stretcher's there, but he's already off the ground. But he has to get on the stretcher by the look of it.
If the stretcher's called, you've got to jump on it, don't you?
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. That's the main consideration here. He's been very valuable for them. He sets the tone for hard work and ferociousness. And that one, as we said, interesting because he had the ball and he didn't come up when I think the player coming towards him would have expected him to come up. Watch this again.
Yeah, I don't think you can sort of have a go at Jason Norris there in this sort of situation. You know, it's just one of those things in football. It's a contact game. You know, we come to expect it. Unfortunately, there's somebody who who has been hurt. We just hope it's not too seriously. And
He's okay. He's okay. He's awake. And the Dockers have taken Jason Norris off the ground, interestingly.
Well, definitions of okay do vary.
In the meantime, looks like Daniel Bandy has now gone on to Matthew Allen. So Longmuir just having a bit of a rest there. And it'll be interesting to see whether Bandy tries to run Allen around. Allen's pretty good for a tall man to move around the ground.
Yeah, but I think if Bandy's got a brief, that would be the only one. Run him around.
Now Backwell's on the ground and Massey, after a brief appearance, is off the ground for Carlton. So Hume, I hope he's okay, but I doubt we'll see any more of Aaron Hume tonight as he goes around the boundary, and Fletcher's got the resultant free kick. McLaren just across, having a word to him.
Hotton's gone up forward, so Carlton persisting with the two-pronged attack. Up forward they've got Kuda and Hotton, Hotton was outstanding for them last year, played in every game, and was a fantastic pickup for him.
He's really changed himself, hasn't he, since he came away from Collingwood, where he had a few problems, and he's made the most of it. Carlton have benefited from it.
So here's Fletcher after the break, kicking it up towards the wing. Allen and Bandy wrestling. Bandy got a fist on it, taken by Bootsma, having a very good game. High ball, well inside the 50. Coming across was Fletcher, got airborne. Didn't complete the mark. Coming up the ground there and getting the hand pass away was Longmuir. This is Cook. He's about 30 metres out.
Great play.
Great finesse, great finish.
Well, that really started from the man we were talking about a minute ago. We're talking about Daniel Bandy and Matthew Allen. Now, he's punched that ball from behind, and we all know that is the right thing to do. And you mentioned Dennis, Brad Bootsma. He's been doing very well on Scott Camperelli. Look, he's had 15 possessions. Bootsma, he's had 12 possessions, so it's been about even. And in the end, this is just a fantastic sidestep by Cook on his left foot, straight through the high diddle-diddle. And the Dockers just grabbing the lead.
Well, sometimes he's a wayward kick, Troy Cook, but that one had eyes. Straight through the middle. Coming through down there was Fletcher. Trying to soccer it off the deck was Ratton. Koutafidis gets it to Fletcher. That's Simon. The hand pass comes across to Culpet. Culpet forward of the wing, goes down towards half forward. Awkward one for Lappin. Did he keep it in? No.
That hurts you, doesn't it? That kick, you've got time, you've got space. I know Culpet's just a young player, and he's probably a little bit nervous out there, but if that kick had have hit Lappin, they were a real chance of scoring.
And something to say, probably. You heard what the Prez said. Get it up. There's a chance for him, and he goes again. Lappin gets it out towards Camperelli, close to the boundary line. Hooks it back towards the middle. Backwell goes back and takes the mark. In the true centre-half forward position. This will test him, but he can't kick it a fair way. Backwell instead honours the lead down there from Koutafidis. It was a half-hearted lead. Brown knocked it down to his own advantage and then kicks it towards the outer side. Freeborn leads in the race out there. Comes back to Houlihan. Houlihan 80 metres out, kicks inside the 50. Awkward half volley for Ratton. Coming through was Fletcher. Bandy's hand pass over the top, knocked towards the boundary by Brown. In comes Parker. Good shepherd from Brown. Parker hard against the line. Pinpoint accuracy. Uses it brilliantly. This is Hazelby. Hazelby comes back towards the middle. Fletcher has to wait. Fletcher bearing down. Fletcher's got the footy. Fletcher kicks it down towards half forward. In front out there. Missing the ball was Cook. It dribbles on. Rice takes it across the line as Woods arrives. And a boundary throw in. Left half forward for the Dockers.
Didn't think there's anyone else out in the ground there for a while there, Dennis.
Made it easy. I'll give you the tip. So boundary throw in. Pavlich and Beaumont, it appears, will do the rucking. They lock up. Call that one, umpire. Another one touched it. Cook goes to ground. Was he held without it? Hazelby, the stumble, gets the hand pass away. Here's Fletcher. Little chip, nicely done. Luke Toyer, been valuable. 65 metres out. Threads it towards Mondra. Bounces off his chest. Taken by Woods. The snap kick. I think it's okay. Silvani claims he touched it. I don't think he did.
Well, that's his first kick, and well, there's a long list of guys who have kicked a goal with their first kick in league footy, and Dion Woods joins them.
Can you name them all, Ben?
Where's Bruce when you need him?
Yeah. But now, Ben, you know a lot about Dion Woods. He is going to be an exciting talent, isn't he?
Well, he is. He played under-18 footy last year. He's very, very good off the ground. He's about 6'4", very highly skilled.
So a fairy tale start then for Dion Woods. His first kick is a goal. 7-5 plays 5-5. Allen comes hard. Bandy with a judgment, had the ball, lost it. Koutafidis, what a comeback it's been. Out of the centre, down towards half forward, plenty of Dockers. Slipping was Black, arriving quickly Parker. Gets the hand pass across towards two teammates. Carr and Jones. Jones the one with the footy. Good shepherd from Toya. Jones the high ball up towards the wing. Koutafidis had to wait. Over the top came Woods. It falls to Hazelby. He's getting busy. Kicks it down towards the attacking 50. Pavlich appear to be held. No free kick. Cook lays it off. Coops accelerates away. Coops in the pocket. Ooh.
Well, he had McKay beaten, didn't he? He could have actually run inboard then and perhaps kicked that one on his left foot. Once he was past McKay, he had time to steady. I guess hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Fletcher goes up, opposed to Hazelby. It ricochets across towards Cook. Nicely done. That was a Koutafidis-like move. It comes to Bandy. Bandy kicks down towards full forward. Takes an awkward bounce for all and sundry. Getting back is Ratton close to the line. Decides against the Bradley manoeuvre. Gets the hand pass to Beaumont.
Nowhere to go.
Beaumont pulls it back towards the middle and Lappin, who's been very good. Lappin holds up.
Ratton's had it 16 times. Fletcher 17.
Kick towards the outer side. Houghton was up. Socket away by Black. Rather tentative though was the soccer. Houghton at close quarters. Got it to Houlihan. Well played by Parker. Ben's favourite Docker working hard close to the boundary line. Houlihan tries to wrestle it out. Wood stood up in the tackle. Got the hand pass away. In goes Culpet on Parker. And the ball is out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, he's only been on the ground for a short time, but he's certainly been in the action as Dion Woods. And Ben, I've had someone give a sort of parallel to a very young Anthony Koutafidis, but probably with a bit more skills at that age. Whew. It's a big call, but
we won't put the fridge on his shoulders just yet.
Koutafidis knocks it down on the outer side. Nicely done by Camporelli.
How far can he run?
Still he goes, Camporelli out of defence, back towards midfield. Lappin again presenting. Carlton with some work to do here. Lappin kicking down towards half forward. They need Whitnell. Up he goes. Jones doing a brilliant job. Got it on the ground again. Cook comes through. Gets it to Grover. Looping hand pass out wide. Bandy. Meters in the clear. Bandy. High ball down towards half forward. Allen is going back with the flight of it. Takes the mark.
One of the things we haven't seen the Dockers do is really control the half forward line. They're getting a lot of their goals off the ground. We really probably need to see a little bit more of Matthew Pavlich out there.
Houghton's got the footy. Grover's got him. Fletcher, Houlihan, now Freeborn, hard against the boundary line. Down towards half forward, arriving quickly was Black. This is Cook, arches the back and gets through. Nicely done, little 1-2 with Bootsma. They involve Carr now, good footy by the Dockers. Carr the long ball down towards full forward. Going back is Longmuir, knocked away by Silvani desperately. It's out of bounds in the pocket.
They're breaking a line back there, aren't they? Troy Cook took them on, ran that 5 or 10 metres, just able to break clear. And if you've got a couple of players in your back line that can do that, you can get the ball into the forward zone very, very quickly. Great play, Cook.
This will be interesting. Longmuir on the scene, battling with Allen. I would imagine Allen will get the free without looking.
Man in front is always going to get it, isn't he?
And in defence. That's a great Quinella. In front and in defence. There comes the kick up towards the wing. Bandy reaches over the top and thumps it out of bounds in front of Lance Whitnell.
When you just think about the Jones-Whitnell matchup, I mean, Whitnell's been the leading marker in the competition the last 2 seasons, and Anthony Jones hasn't played much footy at all in the last 5 years, so it's amazing. And I guess he's just got to have a big pat on the back, Jones, just for his persistence and will to succeed.
Bandy tackled by Whitnell. Whitnell just 2 possessions so far. Nicely done by Houlihan. Camporelli releases Culpet, running away from half-back, probing kick towards half-forward, and a good one too if Houghton can run onto it, sensing the danger, and storming up the ground is Brown. Brown wins the ball, kicks it out wide. Now the Dockers with a chance, letting it bounce out there as Fletcher looks back towards the middle, spots a man. Bootsma's run on, great run by Brad Bootsma. He kicks inside the 50, good kick to him. Coops takes the clever mark against quality opposition.
You've got to go back to Lee Brown then, Dennis, because he's left his opponent, Anthony Koutafidis, in the goal square. You know what he's thinking when he's running to a loose ball. Oh my goodness, the best player in the competition. I've just left him behind, but he's run with his convictions, and that's the reason. He took a risk deep in defence that Coops is having a shot on goal.
Took the words right out of my mouth then, Ben. I tell you, it's exactly what I was going to say. Well done, Brown.
Stephen Coops, 52 metres out. Interesting kick. It's doing a lot of left to right, but not enough, having started well left.
Well, you look at this quarter, and the Dockers have scored 4 goals to 2, yet the Blues have been winning the centre clearances. So purely the Dockers are doing a little bit more hard work around the ground. And
they've rotated pretty well. I mean, Cook, Fletcher, Hazelby, we know Bell's off, but they've all had a chance of...
Toya in there?
Yeah, Toya run in the middle, whereas Rat and Camperella, they've been in there the whole time.
Rice straight up the middle, intended there for Allen. Charging through his Parker, well done, gets it away. Walker to Pavlich, 48 metres out, Matthew Pavlich, hit the post.
Well, they're growing in confidence. I've got to say that they are really growing in confidence. And if there's one side in this competition who really play well when they've got their confidence up and running, it is the Fremantle Dockers, and they're very hard to stop. And there'd be some concerns in the Carlton coaching box at the moment.
Hits up the bandwagon. Maney wants to jump on.
I haven't said that. I just said there's some concerns, Dennis.
Rice kicks in. Allen the leap from behind Bandy. Got it on the ground. Fletcher bounces off Pavlich. Cook. He's having a purple patch. Cook tries to pull it back right to left. It's bending. It's a pretty good effort. That is very close. It's a goal. His second.
Amazing, amazing performance from Fremantle. I mean, you're right about the confidence level, Chris, and we know the professional sport, 90% of it's played above the shoulders, but Cook, he's been a fantastic player for him for a couple of years now, but his skill level tonight has been outstanding. He's kicked a left foot goal, and now that one on the right on the run. He's a hard quality player.
Regardless of the outcome, you've got to say outstanding effort by Damien Drum and the coaching staff. They gambled. They would have been ridiculed, I think, had it not paid off. He's put his team in with some sort of a chance. It's up to them now. Fletcher's hand pass comes out wide. Rice has got it inside the centre square towards half forward. Houghton was up. Crumbs come to Grover. He's done pretty well too. He kicks it out towards the wing. McManus leads in the race just on the ground, but evades him and goes across the line.
And part of the problem has been some of the Carlton forwards. We haven't seen a lot of Houghton, Favola, Whitnell. Been very inconspicuous as they're some of their forwards. It's pretty hard to try and kick goals if that's the way they're going to play.
Bandy in front. Allen directs it down. Bradley was held. No free kick taken by Camperelli. Well done by Lappin. That was a clever mark going back with a quick ball. Spots a man in space. That's Houlihan running down towards the 50. Can he fit? No, he can't.
That's a terrible kick.
Out of bounds on the full.
I think he had time to run around on his right foot. It was great closing pressure from Grover. Just forced him to kick on his left. But if he had gone hard early, Houlihan, just a couple of really hard steps, I think he would have been able to get onto his right. Still should have kicked at his left, I suppose.
Black out of defence then. High ball. Koutafidis from behind. Went after it at the second attempt. Nothing doing. Houlihan just over the shoulder. Walker did nicely. Good evasion too. Too slick though for Cook, but knocked it onto the voice supplied by Fletcher. Coming through McManus. Still McManus back towards Fletcher. Fletcher throws it on the boot. In front was Woods. Had it knocked away well by Massey. Picked up by Fletcher. Rice has got it. Gets it to Camperelli. Camperelli, the quick hand pass away. Beaumont down towards half forward. Brown again.
Great teamwork between Brown and Jones there.
Cook knocking up, getting possessions in the last 10 minutes. Troy Cook, how many is that for the game now? 11. I'd venture to say 6 of them in those last few minutes.
What's happening? Because Cooter's coming down into the midfield, Lee Brown's left by himself in defence, and he can occasionally help out Anthony Jones on Whitnell.
Grover's got the ball on the wing. Under 4 minutes till half-time. Short one comes to Parker.
There's nothing wrong with just chipping it around as long as you're keeping in possession. As long as you're hitting your target, otherwise go long.
Good test of confidence is when you see defenders pushing up forward of centre, getting kicks. Parker did that there, sent it to half forward. This is McManus, spots a man out wide, releases Black. Now he can run inside the 50. Natural left footer. Has he got the accuracy? I think he has. Problems for Carlton.
Well, it is problems because that's their 4th goal in a row without being unanswered for the Blues. So that's more than what we would classify as a run on here. And there is some worrying signs. And part of the reason is because they're just pumping the ball inside their 50. That's 16 times to the Blues 8. So they've had it double the amount of times in there. And given that and give your forwards that opportunity, you're always going to be in the lead. And they're just, we haven't seen a lot. Bradley's gone out of the game slightly. Bandy's come on. He's had sort of some slight influence over Allen, who was probably dominating in the centre square there. And Brown, of course, in the back line.
Heath Black pushing up the ground, getting the running goal. Heady times at the moment for the Dockers. 9-7, Carlton 5-5. Neither ruckman touched the ball. Bandy a little stunned there, so too Allen. Coming through as Freeborn, wrestled to the ground by Fletcher. Let's go down to Adrian Barrich with news on Hume.
Dennis, just an update on Darren Hume. Yeah, he is okay as far as he can be if you've got concussion. He's walking around, he's in the rooms, stitches in his head from a previous collision, but all his family back home, he is okay.
Great news, and they're missing him out on the ground at the present time. Cook running amok, gets it across to Woods, forward of the wing. Woods kicks well inside the 50. Silvani could have been held. Manton leads back in the race. Modra's got him. It comes across to Massey. He's under the pump, scrambles at about 25 metres and gets it out of bounds. And that's symptomatic of Carlton's football at the moment, feeling the pressure and responding accordingly.
And the Carlton coaching staff have obviously realised they're under some pressure, because Massey's now going down there as a spare man in defence. And I've already mentioned just earlier on just how dominant Fremantle have been inside that 50 in this quarter.
Allen knocks it back but exposes the goal there. Slightly dangerous. Taken by McKay. Well, guess who? Cook again, tracking it towards the outer side. Nobody near him. Now Cook picks it up. Lappin is bearing down. Oops, overcommitted. Cook comes back with the right boot inside the 50. It pitches down towards the pocket. Modra had it knocked away by Manton. And the boundary throw in. Just over 2 minutes till half time. And the Dockers with a decisive lead.
There's the man on screen who is probably close to best on ground at the moment. Troy Cook.
Longmuir and Allen. Allen fell over. Longmuir feeds it back towards the middle. McManus did well. McManus 60 metres out. Comes across the goal face. Having to stretch. The mark is taken by Grover. Short one is on to Bootsma. He's delayed it too long. And Bandy came to Bootsma. No need for that.
I don't think Brad was too happy either, Dennis. Well, not a bad option, though, just to centre it if he thought Bootsma may have had a sniff of getting it taken out of his hands, because Black, he can hoof it. Why not have a go at this late stage of the quarter?
The Freeborn's actually gone back about 4 or 5 feet on this mark, and if Black decides to have a shot at it, you'll find just Freeborn. No.
Good kick.
Kicks for space and Pavlich, and that's too easy.
Well, it's the golden rule, isn't it? Just hang on to the ball, wait for a mark, because sooner or later probably someone in the defence is going to take their mind off the job. They'll relax thinking, no, he's going to go long, and in that case, it was Pavlich's man, and it was a beautiful lead. Look at the size of the hole there, and it was a great kick by Black to put it right on his chest.
He didn't panic, did he?
No.
That's the danger. You panic, you can feel the crowd wanting you to get the ball inside 50, top of the square, and it's very mature kick there from Black, and mature play just to hold back and wait for someone to pop up.
I think Black could hear the Zs coming from the Carlton defenders. They've nodded off. Here's Pavlich, and he's kicked another one.
Well, do you start to ask the question whether Carlton thought they were going to come over here and just have an easy one first game up, because all of a sudden they do look like it? No, Dennis, can't say I'm jumping off the bandwagon, but perhaps I am a little bit. But it's almost as though perhaps they've come over here just feeling, hey, this is good, we're playing Fremantle. They haven't had a good pre-season. They started off pretty well in the first quarter, but this second quarter they have been completely dominated by the Fremantle Dockers. And I've got to say, it will be pretty hard for them to come back.
Carlton playmakers simply have gone out of the game. 10-7 plays 5-5. Porter, clean possession. Can the Blues muster a late goal? Hot and terrific mark. Now it's spilled out at the last moment. Parker got it to Black. Black swings it out wide. Leading in the race out there is Walker. Tackled immediately by Freeborn. Tries to knock it across to Bandy, but despite the fact he did, the boundary line was too close.
You just look around the ground, you see Grover still getting into hot, and there's always good signs. Well, there is good signs from the Fremantle's team point of view. They're all up, they're all talking, they're getting into their opponents. You see Jones just brushing up against Whitnell, letting him know he's still around. It's impressive performance.
Hazelby knocked back by Camporelli, taken by Bandy. Cook wrestled to the ground by Camporelli. Coming through was Walker. Ratton back towards Cook. Well, look at Cook. He's like a cork in the ocean, bouncing around in there. Bootsma, Bandy, claimed by Rice. This is hard work for all concerned. Walker gains about 20 metres eventually. Hazelby confronted out there by Freeborn, but manages to get the hand pass away to Bootsma. Bootsma kicking towards half forward, and Pavlich. Potential match winner is Pavlich. Wonderful prospect at centre half forward. He finishes with the footy. And at half time, the Dockers have a substantial lead. They're up by 32 points. And listen to the crowd. There is spring in the step of the Dockers, a number of them, high-fiving and running towards the centre of the ground to join their teammates. Need to be a little careful and keep a lid on things, but gee, that second term, they played some good football, and more importantly, Carlton really didn't give a yelp.
No, they really were dominant in that quarter, and as you said, Dennis, it's most important. Only half the game is gone, but there's nothing wrong, though, with getting over and telling your teammates, go in enthused. And I would say going in, they'd be quietly just confident. They've just got to come out in that third quarter is going to be vitally important. We say it all the time, Ben, but if they start off in that first 5 or 10 minutes in that third quarter, it could be vital.
Well, the Blues missing their hardest worker, Darren Hume, off the ground with concussion. He was having a good game until he came off. He was giving them something in the packs. But at half-time, it's the Dockers 10-7. The Blues are 5-5. 5.
Expecting Carlton to really fire up this quarter. Should be a great second half. Back to you.
Okay. Start of the second half. And Carlton with some work to do. 10-7, 5-5 beginning the third quarter. One down by Allen. Cook picking up where he left off in the second term, kicking it down towards half forward. So 16 possessions in the game for him, 10 of them coming in that second quarter. Hazelby, that makes 18 possessions as he kicks inside the 50. Manton stumbled. 3 Dockers up. Manton will get a free kick. So he didn't stumble, he was assisted.
Whitnall still at centre half forward for the Blues. Jones his opponent, of course.
Manton across the ground. Taken by Allen, running on his Camporelli. McManus closing. Allen gets the kick away. Black coming across on the angle. Beats Camporelli, knocks it towards the line. Recovers nicely. Looping hand pass. Another Kurtafidis, releases Brown. Brown the kick down towards half forward. Going back down there was Beaumont. Coming up McKay. Could have almost got a free kick. Nothing doing. Tries to slap it out of there. It came back in. Toya's over the ball. Culpet goes in on him. And we've got a whistle.
And already, just good to see the Fremantle Dockers helping to support the players. We had Black, Bootsman and Brown. It was 3-on-2 situation, and that's always going to win out. So they're really just carrying on from the first half so far.
Bounce 55 metres out from the Dockers attacking goal. Pavlich has been good. Thumps it down. Ooh. Taken high was Beaumont. Advantage not paid. The ball will come back.
The other area where I'm sure they've done a fair bit of work is just keeping the ball in their forward line once it gets there. There hasn't been any easy releases from Carlton from their defence. Not too many anyway.
Lumbers away. Wasn't shouting at you, Ben. Ball on the wing. It's taken by Bradley. Gets it across to Kurtafidis. Kurtafidis, a little chip pass, releases Ratton into space. And Ratton has taken this mark. 75 metres from goal. Told to play on now. Gets around Bandy. Low kick. Well inside the 50. Whitnall was up. Houlihan tracks it towards the boundary line. Whitnall wants it back. And he gets it.
Well, poor Brown there just sort of got caught out really in that sort of situation. He was on a one-on-one with Whitnall there earlier on, and just a quick play there by Houlihan to get it around onto Whitnall. There you can sort of see, and Brown was just unfortunate there, 2 or 3 metres off Whitnall, and they need this goal.
Last 2 possessions so far, Lance Whitnall, but that's a good finish. Goal.
They need a solid start, don't they, the Blues? I think Lee Brown actually was trying to get back onto his own opponent rather than worrying about Whitnall. Whitnall, of course, we know is with Jones. It was good play from Brown to come in and affect the contest and bring the ball to ground, but then I guess he had to make a decision. Does he stay with Whitnall, not his opponent, or go back?
Well, Wayne Britton at least will be happy with the start there. Bandy decisively down to Fletcher. Fletcher kicking towards half forward, coming up on the lead, almost the jumper mark. In fact, it's held by Coops.
That's a great mark. Well done out of the centre.
I thought it had come loose. There goes the kick from Coops, setting it up. Shell had it knocked away. Modra the crumb tries to pull it back. Will it run on? Bradley can't get there in time. It's a goal. His third.
Well, it all started in the centre with a great tap by Daniel Bandy and Adrian Fletcher. He has been in very good form. It was probably touch and go there between Ratton and Fletcher, who was getting on top, and probably Ratton was doing very well, especially in the first quarter, but slowly Fletcher's got on top, and that was just a sensational mark by Coops. and played on very quick. That's one thing about the Dockers too tonight. They've really been moving the ball very quickly. They've been catching out the Carlton defence. Bradley just failing to get there, and that's the third one for Tony Modra.
So Carlton the first goal. Quick response coming from the Dockers. Bandy goes up and backhands it down. It spills wide of the pack, taken by Walker. Gets through, kicks towards half forward. Rice goes back, ducked ahead, waiting behind McKay. Gathers the bouncing ball, wrestled to the ground out there by Pavlich. And the bounce.
He's been pretty quiet tonight, hasn't he, Andrew McKay? Just 5 possessions. Last year in this game he had 21.
He's got his hands full with Coops as well, isn't he?
They body up again. Bandy with the backhander. Bootsma emerges with it from 51 metres out, sets it very high. Shell and Modra. Modra got a fist on that one. Waiting in front, Fletcher gets the hand pass away to McKay. Camporelli decides to run it up towards half back. Camporelli kicks then to the wing. Coming across is Lappin. Jones, third in the queue, Whitnell. Well played though by Jones. Knocked it back to the advantage of Walker. Couldn't do much with it, and it's out of bounds.
Jones's pace on Whitnell is just too good for him at the moment. Whitnell's very good on the fast lead if he gets out in front, but they're just not delivering the ball well to him, Carlton.
I think they need to take him back, bring Cooter out to centre half forward.
Whitnell 2 kicks for 2 goals. Bandy knocks it down. Black leads in the race. Took his eye off the footy. Houlihan comes through. Well, not much happening there. Fletcher went to ground, crashing in his Bootsma. Standing up in the tackle was Hazelby. Houghton at close quarters hit his teammate there. Camporelli is hurt by the footy. Over the ball is Houghton, gets it away to Whitnell, his second hand pass. Koutafides in 2 minds too, kicks it straight up in the air. The pressure's certainly telling on Carlton at the moment. Jones went to Parker. This is Adrian Fletcher. Goes across the ground. Precision kick this one. McManus didn't take the mark. Now he's got a problem. Somehow got out of there. Well, it's the Dockers' night at the moment. McManus kicks it up towards the wing. Pavlich trying to knock it onto his own advantage, but they're playing in the front row and will have a throw in.
Hasn't been pretty the last 2 minutes, Dennis, but the second efforts of the Smalls of Fremantle in particular then, and it has been all night, has been outstanding. Cook, we know, leads the way, but Hazelby, Black, young Walker we saw down in just on the member side a second ago have all been outstanding.
Allen and Bandy, it falls in front. Ratton hurriedly. There's a whistle. It will be a Carlton free kick. It'll come back to Ratton.
Then in reserve, the Carlton team has Backwell, Porter's there, and Massey, and of course Hume has concussion.
Brett Ratton to take this kick on the outer side wing. Interesting, talking about Whitnell, Carlton's leading goal scorer last season with 70. 9 against Brisbane round 16, was goalless last time these sides met, so he's bettered that performance, but again hasn't done very much tonight, as we've already said. Bradley to Houlihan. Maybe Whitnell can fire them though. If he gets free, who knows. Now Massey held a long time in the tackle, was he? Now it's going the other way. It's a free kick to be taken by Parker. The umpire paying a throw. McManus hangs on this time.
He's been good since he's come on the ground, Sean McManus.
Hugs the boundary line with the kick around the outer side. Well played by Beaumont. Ratton at close quarters. Culpet gets the hand pass away. This is Fletcher. Forward of half back. The high ball down towards half forward. Tailor-made for Parker. Got it on the ground. Bootsma. Great vision. Black looked up before he had the footy though. Now it's coming back, and what was that? Another throw.
Ooh, I'd like to have another look at that.
An epidemic of throws at Subiaco at the moment as Camporelli comes across the ground. It's taken by Allen. Allen decides not to throw it. He kicks it inside the 50. Great courage by Cook. What a mark. Gets it to Grover. Grover kicks it up towards the wing. Down goes Shell. Somehow it came to Silvani. Gets the hand pass off. Hazelby brilliantly done. Step past Allen. Wrong-footed Silvani. Kicks across the field. Massey is going back. Coops drifts across his path. Massey eyes only for the football. Recovers nicely. Bradley. Massey on the overlap. Storms through the centre. Can they get a goal here? Long probing kick down towards Koutafides. Knocks it down to his own advantage. Then fell over. Parker wrestled to the ground. Picked up by Ratton. Good hand pass. Lappin running into an open goal. Will kick his third.
Well,
what a handball from Ratton. I mean, you know, they reckon he's as good as Diesel.
Williams, yeah.
And that was outstanding. That's why I mean, Fremantle certainly have still got a game on their hands. It's been quite remarkable. I guess the one thing that we haven't commented about Carlton forward line is they have, of course, not Hamill up there. He kicked 42 goals from last year. Maybe Whitnell's performance tonight is a reflection of that, not having Hamill alongside him.
And you'd have to say that Nigel's lapping it up, isn't he? Because he's that's his third for the night. He's had a very good night, mate. Been the most dangerous.
So game on. 11-7 to 7-5. You would expect Carlton, like a good side, and they are that, to claw their way back here.
It's interesting they push all of their half forward. They've got 4 people along the half forward line, just 1 person back at full forward is Carlton.
Porter has to wait. Up very high was Bandy. Crashes to the turf. Down goes Fletcher. Hazelby, another possession. High up and under. Only gains about 5 metres goalward. Comes back to Hazelby on his knees. What a fine young player he is. Gets it to Bootsma. Bootsma kicks inside the 50. McKay, wonderful, going back with the flight of the ball. And he's getting a free kick. Now, that will be interesting to see in replay. It may be that Shell just doubled up and came with a shoulder. Watch it again. I think you've got to pay that.
Pay the mark then.
I think a free kick.
Yep.
Out wide. Silvani pops it up to half back. Freeborn's got it. Freeborn. High ball towards the wing. Bandy should step around them and take the mark in front. Didn't get hands to the ball. As it turned out, it's out of bounds. Speaking of marks, Troy Cook took one a few moments ago. How was this? Well, maybe not.
Close.
Okay. Here's Camporelli. Hand pass is out of bounds. That would have lived in folklore, but now we've exposed him, and it's 5 minutes late. He's a bit unlucky.
Yeah, it was pretty close, but the thing I like about the Dockers at the moment is you look around the ground, it's one-on-one everywhere. There's none of this freewheeling that's crept into the AFL. It's one-on-one, so if Carlton are going to be good enough to win it, they've got to win one-on-one contests.
11-7, 7-5, tossed in. Ratton in front, gets the hand pass away. It goes directly to Carr, though. Carr hooks it down towards half forward. Coming up is Pavlich. Gee, works hard. Beaumont. Pavlich outnumbered, but he forced his man across the boundary line. And Lappin, a lot of largesse about his game, goes with a short pass to the boundary umpire.
And they'd be happy with that because there was nothing else on, so at least the ball stayed up in their forward area.
Tossed in again. Porter battling with Pavlich, waiting behind Ratton, gets it away to Bradley this time. Bradley kicking down towards half forward, going back is Black, stretches, stretched every sinew. You could hear them pop. He comes away through the centre, kicking down towards half forward, bounces to Pavlich, 55 metres out. The kick favours Modra. Was he being hung on to? Play on's the call. It's knocked back towards the goals by Modra. In goes McKay. He was tackled down there by Shell, and the ball is played up against the behind post.
Well, that new rule's in. I'd like to have another look at this and just sort of see whether Manton is holding Modra. Well,
I would have thought so.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Based on what we saw in the pre-season, anyway.
3 weeks ago, it was paid.
Yes. Here's Camporelli in front. Hurried kick, squeezed it out. Culpet gets the hand pass away. Bradley at centre half back goes for distance this time towards half forward. Why not? Koutafidis is there. It was knocked away by Parker. Whitnell left it behind. Coming through is Brown. He left it behind too. Jones wrestled down. In goes Carr. Strong tackle Whitnell. Hand pass comes out towards Adrian Fletcher, bearing down his namesake again. Fletcher did well though in a tight situation. Combined with Brown. This is Walker. Tries to go past Freeborn. Knocked down by Massey. Massey recovers. Gets it away to Houlihan. There's a Docker on the ground and hurt. Luke Toyer. He's hurt again. You wouldn't believe it. Kick inside the 50. Chance for Carr. He's wrestled down there by Favola. Coming through was Houghton. He was wrestled down in turn. Brilliant hand pass. Ratton. Favola. Favola kicks the goal. You will need slow motion to see that handball.
Dennis, while that was going on, though, this is unbelievable. Luke Toyer is injured again, and I think he may have dislocated his elbow.
Yes. Is that the same one?
It looks like being the same injury. Yeah, went down in a screaming heap, and he's in a lot of pain directly in front of us here.
It's amazing because he went to shepherd his teammate. He put his body on the line. It's just unbelievable luck if that's a re-break of that elbow.
And Dennis, you're exactly right about that handball. That was lightning quick out to Favola.
Well, there doesn't seem to be any justice in football. How many times has this young man fought his way back from crippling injuries? And again, Luke Toyer.
And Ben, you're exactly right. Look at this. Looking after his teammate, he's put his arm out there. You can see where the bandage, where he's had the problems before. And
didn't
in the
look like much in
process.
it, did it?
No,
No,
but
it seemed innocuous, didn't it?
Yeah, amazing. And you really feel for, I mean, we saw young Watt for North Melbourne get
Last
carried
night,
off
yeah.
sickingly, and the guys like that and Luke Toyer have had a shocking run with injuries. Let's just hope he's okay.
you start to wonder a little bit whether did he come back too early, was the injury fixed or not, or just one of those unlucky incidences where, as you said, there's not a really lot in it.
Well, he's played the last 2 weeks in the local competition, and so I'm sure the physios, Jeff Ball and Ken Withers, the doctor, must have given him the all.
Yeah.
It's just a freak of nature that things like that can occur.
Unbelievable. You think of Brendan Lade at Port Adelaide, don't you? Same deal. 11-7-8-5. Of course, it was a leg, but you know what we mean. Down goes Porter. Slapped out of there by Norrish. Fisted goalward for Carlton, taken by Whitnell, and the Blues are coming. That's the undercurrent here. There goes the kick from Porter. Koutafidis leads back in the race. Will it sit for him? Close to the behind post. Anthony Koutafidis bounces off it, hooks and kicks the impossible. Magnificent kick if it's a goal. Behind. Well, he was celebrating Koutafidis. He got me in. And there's the agony following Koutafidis' ecstasy. Luke Toyer, an all too familiar sight.
He knows
Tragedy.
what he's done, doesn't he?
Yeah, and knows what lies ahead. Around the outer side, Whitnell from the Jones kick was taken high.
We're starting to slowly see a bit more of Whitnell now in this quarter, slowly just making his mark, and they're going to certainly need him.
Culpet, magnificent kick for Vola. Well, he stumbled when he should have gone back to take the mark. They had two players free. Favola played it pretty well eventually. Houlihan kicks the goal, and the Blues are making their move.
Well, that's right. It's 4-1 now in this quarter. And just slowly, some of the players that we haven't seen, some that were doing okay in that first quarter that went out during the second quarter. And a lot of their senior players, Bradley starting to come back in. Porter's made a bit of a difference since he's gone into the ruck. Up front now, we're starting to see their forwards for Favola, Lappin, Whitnell, as I just sort of mentioned, and Houlihan now. That's his second goal for the game. So the Dockers have to just regroup a little bit.
And this crowd getting very involved now. Plenty of Carlton supporters at Subiaco Oval. They've got a big following in Western Australia. And of course, Fremantle trying to push their side along. They've surrendered what was a pretty big lead. A lot of it has been eroded. Houghton, Ratton, another clever hand pass out of the congestion. Camporelli going down, was tackled by Black. Fletcher's got it. Slung by Hazelby. Freeborn scrambles a kick. Chopped off by Bootsma. He goes across the ground. They need to keep their heads now collectively. McManus barking the instructions as he goes. Well, here's the captain. Long kick down towards half forward. Massey, clever one-hander. A player Carlton awaiting to develop. Chris Massey. Good kick. Whitnell comes on the lead. Chris made the point. He's getting into the game. Kicked inside the 50. Could have almost been a free kick to Koutafidis. It was knocked away brilliantly, though, by Brown. The recipient of the crumb is Cook. Off the ball. Wrestled down was Walker by Houlihan. Matters not. Cook goes towards half forward. Bandy has paid the mark.
Yeah, Bandy's gone forward. Dennis Longmuir into the ruck. Porter in the ruck for Carlton.
Bandy kicks inside the 50. Modra and Manton in from the side. Porter, that's a mark, I think. No, play-on's the call. He throws it on the boot. It bounces right on the line, brings up the chalk, and we'll have a throw in.
I reckon if he tried to con the umpire and claim that he would have been paid.
Yep, and I tell you, good work, though, by Porter, just getting back there in defence. Going to be very hard for Tony Modra to mark over the top of him in a 2-on-1 situation. So
Manton's hurt too. He's in the hands of the trainer, so Modra would be free at the minute.
Dockers led by 32 points at halftime. It's back to 13. Manton breaks away from the trainers. Interesting tactical move, and he kicks it up towards the wing.
It always happens,
That's
doesn't it?
stoop to anything. A free kick is going to Lappin.
how to make a commentator look silly, isn't it? Eh? They've done it to us a couple of times tonight.
Lappin kicks towards half forward. Good kick too. Culpet had it bounce off his chest. Still has time. Kicks very wide. That's a terrible kick. It bounces out of bounds. Well, he missed the mark. Had a chance to make amends. He didn't.
And Dennis, you made the point. He had plenty of time there too. Obviously not enough talk there by the Carlton players, because he should have just steadied up and at least put it long, and it would have been around the goal square.
In fairness, they probably expected him to take the mark. It's hooked down there by Longmuir. Hurriedly out of the congestion, Ratton. He certainly lifted his game, and he played well in the first half. Hazelby, nicely done. Well worked by McManus, trying to get through there. McManus is getting the free kick at centre-half back. Good game of footy now. McManus across the ground. Grover missed it. Recovers.
Ball
Confronted
coming
by
back, I think,
Houghton.
Dennis. Ball coming back.
It's okay, I needed the practice. So the ball will come back to centre-half back, and I think it will be a Dockers kick, will it? McManus will take it all over again.
And probably part of the reason that Carlton have just got back into this game during this third quarter is they're running a little bit more. They've now had 20 handballs received to the Dockers 6. So that shows they're prepared to run in support and obviously to offer an extra man.
Manton off under the blood rule. Coming around the boundary.
Backwell on.
Backwell is on. Yes, thank you.
Used to have a Blackwell too, didn't they?
So Beaumont's just gone on to Modra for the minute.
Kick towards the outer side, and Woods storming up is McKay. Upended Woods. Clever hand pass from Norrish. Hurriedly onto the boot, Hazelby. Ball Carlton back there. Whitnell takes the mark. Thought about going. Man on in the middle, that's Ratton. That's the direction the kick takes. Ratton inside the centre square. Lays it off Camporelli. Looked wide, saw it was Bandy. Didn't fall for it. Goes back to the middle. Kicks down towards half forward. The target is Houlihan, and that's a very clever mark. Careful, Black.
He's lifted in this quarter, Houlihan.
Houlihan, half-distance kick intended for Koutafidis, and what a good grab that was. So clean with Brown bearing down. Brown certainly took the body, but the hand stayed firm.
Interesting enough, Ben, that where it all started from was actually Whitnell getting the ball down on the defensive 50. He's obviously starting to move. He's getting a little bit of confidence.
We didn't see the lead of Koutafidis there, but when he took that mark, then that was about the second little lead that he had thrown in. Just put Brown off a step and just allowed him an extra break. So it was good work from Kouta. Ratton, by the way, he's just had his 27th possession.
Koutafidis has kicked another goal.
Cook off, Dennis. Adrian Fletcher coming on.
Yeah, I think they've realised the influence of Ratton this quarter. Cook's been very, very good, but I think Drum's realised the game's going to be very, very tight, so why not rotate a couple of your midfielders? They've done it pretty well all night, so Fletcher have a run in the middle.
Ben, you mentioned earlier on before we were sort of saying the difference probably as the game went on was going to be the workload and the experience of the Carlton players, and we're just starting to see that in this quarter, aren't we?
Manton's back on the ground. Backwell is off. Close, but he's not a backman. There's the bounce. Over the top, Porter into the path of Bradley. Here come Carlton again. They're looking irresistible at the moment. Jones with other ideas. Peels off, gathers the footy, but that's a wayward kick very high. Hazelby, the presence of mind to step around a player, eyes only for the footy, and took the mark. Wonderful.
Probably been the most dominant Docker in this quarter.
Short to Jones. Inside the centre square.
Good run.
Black can come over the top to Carr. Carr, the fumble. He's forward of the wing, looking for support. No one coming to him. Carr comes back to the middle eventually. Had to force the issue. Finds Walker.
If you look down there at the moment, Carlton have got 2 extra men down there, so they're pushing down, making it very difficult for the Dockers to find a free man.
Walker takes off. That's better. He'll kick over those free men. No, he won't. He was put under pressure. It affected the kick. Falls in short.
50.
Beaumont.
Well, that's the free man then, Beaumont. Bandy started that last centre bounce, a loose man in defence. He was going back and started alongside Jones and Whitnell. Not quite sure who's orchestrated that, Britton or Drum, but we'll just wait and see.
Here's Beaumont. The idea was right, Walker to run on and kick over those loose men, but he was applied pressure by an opponent, and as a result the kick fell in short. And there was Bradley. They almost stop as the ball spills to Carr. This is McManus around the outer side. Bootsma, clever kick, enabling Bootsma to run on. Sets it up for Pavlich. Pavlich leading back in the race. This will be interesting. He's being held. Pavlich doesn't matter. Sockers it through for a goal.
That was very, very good work by Brown to use his body and just hold out Manton there, because basically he knew once the ball was going to go over the top, there was nobody behind him. And Sean McManus, as I mentioned earlier on before, he's come well in this quarter. But Bootsma, that was a great kick by Bootsma. Have a look at this. You see Brown, he's just nudged him out of the way once he got his body in front. And a bit of a Clive there with his soccer kick. Dennis, you know your favourite player?
We hadn't mentioned him tonight.
No, so we just...
Have now.
He'll be back soon, Clive.
They were 2 great kicks, McManus and then Bootsma, both demanding something of their teammates, sending them away. And Pavlich soccering off the deck and getting a much-needed goal. Hazelby had it, lost it. Norrish taken to the ground and will have a ball up alongside the centre circle. So still 5.5 minutes till three-quarter time. Fremantle 12-7, Carlton 10-6.
Silvani's gone forward for Carlton. Bandy's gone on to him. Now Grover's loose in defence for the Dockers.
McManus dragged down. Ball spills out. McManus didn't have the footy. He has been busy. Co-captain McManus inside the centre circle, unloads. Modra was being held. We saw the jumper extended. Doesn't matter, takes the mark. Now, looking across the ground, the umpire, Shane McInerney, had no one in front of him, and he caught my eye, the umpire, in a direct line to the players coming up the ground. I hate to be critical of umpires, but he must have seen what we saw, surely. He was on the same angle.
Would have been interesting if he didn't take the mark, I guess.
The umpire's friend, Ben Allen. Quite right, quite right. So Tony Modra.
They've weathered the storm, haven't they, Fremantle? Carlton were coming back. They kicked 4 unanswered goals, but, well, if he slots this one through, the Dockers have responded with 2 of their own.
Modra from 45, leans back, he's got it. So 4 to Modra.
I'll tell you what was smart play there by the rest of the Docker forwards there is they left the whole of that area for Tony Modra to run into. We'll wait until we see the ball comes out. There'll be the free kick by McManus, and again his delivery into the forward line and the last 2 occasions has resulted in goal. Just have a look at that. There is just so much space there for Tony Modra to run into. Glenn Manton, to his credit, he tried everything possible, including hanging on to Tony's jumper. But you're right, Ben, they are just slowly weathering the storm here.
Well done by Freo. 13-7, 10-6. Longmuir comes hard, wins the ball on the ground. A bit like Clem Michael. He boots it down inside the 50. Going without it, Pavlich. Loose ball at the back. Massey reaches in, had it socket away. Coops leads in the race now. Here's a chance for the Dockers. Strong tackle by Colpert, got him down.
Why did he keep going, Coopsy?
And passed through from behind.
He's picked that ball up, running directly at goals, and he started to come back inboard. I can't quite understand that. Looked a bit high. That's what the crowd's going a little bit off about. I just thought Stephen should have just continued at the goals.
Fletcher, that's a good mark with Walker bearing down. He had to wait what would have seemed an eternity. McKay releases Bradley. Bradley up towards the middle. Long kick towards half forward. Now the Dockers with a spear man back. That's Bandy coming across, gets the hand pass towards Grover, but Carlton quickly making up the numbers. Grover wrestled down by Houlihan. What news on Stephen Silvani, Barra?
Yeah, he's run out of a bit of puff at the moment. Dennis having a rest. Probably come back on in the last quarter, I'd say.
It's set up for a great finish, this one. Carlton have always played well on this ground against the West Coast Eagles and against the Dockers. They don't fear travelling. Ratton hurriedly. How often do we see that? Just standing at the base of the pack, off one step, gets it away.
And he's had 12 possessions in this quarter. He's just racking them up by the truckloads. It's 29 for the game, up to three-quarter time. Hazelby's been the best of the Fremantle Dockers with 8 so far.
He's one of the all-time greats of Carlton. He comes in that plain brown wrapper as the ball comes back to Houghton, who gets it to Bradley, and Bradley snaps a magnificent goal. Oh, look at that.
I was just about to say, this is where Fremantle, I'm glad I didn't, Fremantle have to just get on their man and just not allow any easy goals to Carlton in the end, because that's what can get Carlton back into that game. And unfortunately, it's happened a couple of times tonight, but it's come from boundary throw-in. I mean, they're very, very smart at that. Houghton's just popped that one up to Bradley, and he's just got the skill to kick a left foot off one step. Not many players can do that, but it's just disappointing from the Dockers' point of view to let that go in red time.
So Carlton edging back again. 13-8, 11-6. Wonderful night for football. Woods crashes in, left the ball behind. Porter gets it away to Rice. The hurried kick down towards half forward. In front is Houlihan. Grover in pursuit. It bounces obligingly for Houlihan. Well played. Heard the voice. Goes back to Freeborn. He's on the wing. Freeborn, the high ball down towards half forward. Is there holding on there? No, it doesn't matter. Brown comes up. Well, it does matter, but the umpire thought there wasn't any on Whitnell. Brown takes the mark. Chips it across the ground. Square. Jones on the defensive 50. Into the path of McManus. Massey bearing down, but can't get there in time. McManus lively. Hard against the boundary line. Kicks down towards Norrish. Clears him. Coming up is Beaumont. And Beaumont knocks it across the boundary line.
think Brown's been pretty impressive. If the ball's in his vicinity, he certainly attacks it hard, and well, you know what's going to happen with him. If the ball's just anywhere near him, he'll have a crack at it.
Tossed in out his side. Porter directs it down, trying to get the ball to his own advantage. McManus in there. Freeborn hurriedly. High one. Whitnell goes back, hands to it, knocked away by Jones, charging through Bandy. Falling to the ground, Rice got it to Houghton. Houghton off his step, puts it across field. Mark was paid. Lappin plays on immediately. Bradley inside the centre square. Well, he hit his teammate right on the numbers. Camporelli gets it back to Bradley. Bradley floats one inside the 50. 2-on-1 down there for Carlton. Waiting at the back is Koutafidis. Backwell goes in and gets the goal. 8 points the difference.
Well, a bit of the old guard there through the middle, isn't it, Craig Bradley? And that's twice now that he's been instrumental in getting the goals. He got the last one, and now he's been the architect, I suppose, of that one. Probably fortunate there when he handballed into the back of Camporelli, but straight through the middle of the ground has been their play. We haven't seen too much of Backwell tonight. And the old master, 37 years of age, turns 38 in October, I think it is. I wonder if he's going to go for 400 games.
Amazing player, isn't he?
Yeah, 333 up until tonight.
Less than 2 minutes to three-quarter time. 13-8 plays 12-6. Rucks go at it again. Cruising in was Fletcher. Hand passes towards half forward. Culpet goes back, gathers it to McKay again. McKay, high ball down towards half forward. Grover reaches over the top, knocks it away from Houlihan. Good work by Houlihan. Rode Grover off the line of the ball. Backwell combines there with Rice. It comes back to Backwell. Backwell kicks inside the 50. Koutafidis gets Brown under the footy. Who's got the speed? Parker has. Goes back towards the line. That's ambitious. Just gets away from Koutafidis. Hand passes back to Jones. Jones in his defensive goal square goes to Cook. Rebound opportunity around the outer side for the Dockers. Bandy gathers the footy right half back. Bandy goes in short. McManus obligingly slips around his opponent. Takes the mark on the chest. Sean McManus wants to go. Quick ball movement, the essence. He kicks down towards half forward. Pavlich almost. Beaumont crushed. Picked up by Walker. Chopped off there by Ratton. Coming through was Fletcher. Awkward bounce for Backwell. Arriving quickly was Woods. Down goes Fletcher on the overlap. Hand passes about 10 metres. Chopped off by Cook. Wrong foot slap and gets it to Longmuir. Slickly across it comes to Parker. This is Cook. Cook towards half forward. Modra on the lead. Strong with the hands. He's marked 70 metres out. Nobody deep for the Dockers.
Someone's going to have to come to him, present themselves.
Now he kicks in short, intended for Pavlich, I fancy. Over the top, Hazelby, and he's been...
No, it's play on.
I was going to say, they stopped. Well, kicked towards the boundary by Ratton. He got it from Manton.
I reckon that was a mark.
I think he's controlled that for long enough.
It was a full brother.
Let's take a look.
Yes.
That's a mark, isn't it? Surely. Hard done by there, Hazelby.
Dockers just got to remain firm. They can't concede any more goals this quarter. It's very late in the quarter. They conceded the last couple.
Houghton knocks it down. Carlton could do with a goal. Fletcher in trouble. Brandishes the football above his head. Camporelli grabs it. Hurried kick, and the Blues manufacture something here. It pitches awkwardly in front of Whitnell. Parker goes back. Brilliantly done.
Bandy
Gets the ball across to Grover. Bandy's got it now. Good talking Ben. Bandy through the centre, decides to have a bounce on the siren. Wow.
Well,
Luke Toya looking on despondently.
he looks pretty... I think he realised there may be some serious injury there, because naturally he would be disappointed, but they've got his arm in a sling.
Terrible luck.
Yep.
Three-quarter time at Subi, and it's going to be a terrific last quarter. And that's symptomatic of what these players have got to go through as we see Houlihan stretching. It will be survival of the fittest. It's been a hot day in Perth, certainly at this time of the year, up around 30 degrees. Warm night, hard ground. Who can run it out best? Carlton making their move in that term, and they've edged closer to Fremantle. The margin was 32 points. It's back to just 8 points at three-quarter time. Fremantle 13-8. Carlton 12-6. See you shortly. Carlton, can they get back? Start of the final term, a self-confident side against a self-doubting team. The fallout could be tremendous for the Dockers if they win this game. Can they? Porter goes up and knocks it down. The hand pass from Norris comes out wide. Fletcher so busy tonight, lays it off. Jones so good, kicks it up towards the wing. Bootsma's got it. He's played a wonderful game. So many players have had so much of the footy.
Yeah, been an even contest between him and Camporelli.
Bootsma, the high ball. Modra, who's got 4. Surely he was manhandled there. Slung to one side. Camporelli grabs the footy. A very clever mark is taken by Fletcher.
He's been solid too.
Yes, good player. High ball towards the wing. Favola, fingertips to it. Coming through strongly, Culpet, charged down by Norris. Norris goes again, heads for the boundary line and gets it out.
Speaking of Jason Norris, interesting to see him and Black starting in the middle along with Cook. So they're just changing it around just a touch a little bit. Remember, Ross Lyon sort of said he thought that was the difference in that third quarter was the Carlton midfielders. So Docker's just making a few changes.
Boundary throw in, reaching over the top. There was Longmuir, taken by Whitnell, gets it away to Backwell. Rice under pressure, kicks to half forward, going back down there and claiming the mark and taking it well. Here's Grover. He's had some good moments in this game. Plays on, goes across the ground. Bandy will need to go. Charging in was Lappin, outnumbered, didn't have the footy. Play on's the call. Docker's lucky there. Rice steps in, gathers the ball, hand passes it back to Bandy, who made the initial hand pass. Now Carr in a tight situation. Culpet sockers it off the ground, picked up by Bradley. Bradley feeds it back to Fletcher. Generally, he's got poise. He puts the ball out wide. It runs away from Lappin. He was the intended player. Coming across is Black, and he's content to run it out of bounds on the outer side.
I think the game's going to be won, Dennis, as to which team can be just composed in the tight situations. The last couple of minutes, Carlton have been pretty good. Their little hands have been pretty good. That's what they've been renowned for, and it was just significant, I think, that Bradley picked up the loose pill a minute ago.
Longmuir, nicely done with the backhand. Carr slung a couple of revolutions. Comes to Ratton again off his step. Kicks inside the 50. Coming up to meet the ball brilliantly is Brown. Good tackle was laid by Whitnell. Norris gets the hand pass to Jones. Back it comes to Norris. Norris kicks out wide. A chance here for Walker. What a terrible bounce. It goes back to favour Culpet. Culpet and Walker. Culpet did brilliantly. Got to his feet. Tries to go past Norris. That affected the hand pass. The tackle was laid. Crashing through on Rice there was McManus. Picking up the loose ball is Grover. Grover goes towards the outer side. Appealing for a free kick is Longmuir, and he's going to get one.
And well done to Sean McManus down there. He was the one who really turned the ball over and got the ball out of the danger zone.
Longmuir, short, looking for Bandy. Arriving late, Bradley. Not in time.
He could cause them some problems being after he spent a half on the bench, Bandy.
Bandy goes looking for Pavlich, and that's a very good grab. Full-chested on the lead, the youngster. Player of great promise. Forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Fletcher goes back, reaching over the top. His namesake punched it away. Hazelby deep in the pocket. Can he inspire his side? Not with that effort. Just missed.
He's very good around the packs, Paul Haysby, isn't he? In situations like that, he's a very good reader of the play for a person of his age. We saw he won the Norwich Rising Star quite convincingly last year. And he's had a very good night tonight. He had the most possessions when they played Carlton last year, 28.
Well, he doesn't fumble, does he?
No, very sure hands.
He never looks rushed and he doesn't fumble, so not many players around the league can say that.
26 possessions tonight. Camporelli
likes playing against the Blues.
Jabs it in, finds Ratton, who's knocked up, getting possessions. Ratton drives it high towards the wing, intended for Beaumont. Arriving quickly was Grover to knock it away. Culpet gets the hand pass to Bradley at close quarters. He kicks down towards the attacking 50, reaching over the top. Koutafidis. Brown goes in after the footy. It spills to Silvani. Quickly away to Rice. Can the Blues get a goal here through Dean Rice? No, he misses to the near side.
We've got some big names down in the forward line at the moment. Silvani, Koutafidis, Whitnell, so they're really going for a reasonably tall forward line.
Got to kick goals to win it, don't they? Get the big guns forward.
8 points the difference. Docker's on top. Black showed a lot of it to the man coming up the ground, but Grover recovers, gets the kick away. Charging in was Whitnell, but not in time in that exchange. Koutafidis in midfield, nicely done, or was it? Hazelby runs onto the loose ball, is dragged down by Massey. Hand passes goalward. Fletcher hasn't got it, surely. And he'll get the free kick. Advantage is paid. Coops runs on and kicks the goal. That hurts.
Well, it almost could have been the other way around with that kick out by Black, couldn't it? If Silvani had got there a little bit early and taken the mark, we may have been seeing the flags being waved for a Carlton goal, but they've turned it around very quickly. And this man, we've sung his praises already tonight, just his quick hands, and playing in front was Fletcher and Stephen Coops, who it's been an interesting battle between him and McKay for most of the night. Coops has now got Massey on him, but well done to the Dockers.
Official attendance tonight, 23,716. Fremantle up by 14 points. The Blues needing the next goal. Black has other ideas. Out of the centre, kicks inside the attacking 50. Massey comes up to knock it away. Falling over was Fletcher. Bootsma runs inside the 50. He's got another one. Back-to-back goals for the Dockers.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Porter started this final quarter when the game is there to be won in the middle of the ground. Longmuir's been able to have an influence the last couple of centre breaks, and that was an absolute, well, an easy clearance really from Fremantle from the centre of the ground. I'm not quite sure where Matty Allen is. I don't think he's out on the ground. I think he's having a rest, but I'd be throwing him in the ruck.
Big job now for Carlton. 15-9, 12-7. Full credit to the Dockers. They've met every challenge tonight. Carlton, on a number of occasions, have crept close as Bradley thumps it down towards half forward. Culpet arrives quickly. So too Cook. Culpet gets the kick off, though. Silvani battles with Bandy. Almost the mark to Silvani. He's a wonder. Gets it across to Houghton. Quick reply.
Bit going on there, Den.
Waiting for the all clear, the goal umpire. Bit of a skirmish about 20 metres out. A belated all clear, I think, will come from umpire Scott McLaren. The goal umpire just wants his chance.
The umpires forgot to give him the all clear, Dennis.
There we go. Watch this.
Thank you.
That's what we like to see, don't we, hey? Oh, yeah, well, they say the game can be won and lost in the middle, and they were very quick to respond there, and they purely just got it out of the centre square. It was a one-on-one tussle there between Silvani and Bandy.
Great hands from Silvani. Just not much space, but enough just to give Houghton a chance to kick a goal.
And the boys just wanting to carry on with it afterwards. No need for that.
15-9, 13-7. So just when Carlton looked on their knees, they get a goal they desperately needed. In the congestion, Ratton holds the ball to Cook, and they will do it all over again.
Allen's gone into the ruck, Dennis. Porter started this quarter in there, but the game's got to be won. Get one of the best ruckmen in the competition amongst the action.
Allen has to wait for this one. Longmuir came over the top. Back well, thumps it out wide. Picked up by Norris. Gave it away straight to Koutafidis. Koutafidis kicks inside the 50. No mark to Silvani. Jones now comes away. Bandy gave him the hand pass. They breathe a sigh of relief, the Dockers fans. McManus is on the wing then, kicking it very high down towards half forward. Pavlich comes across the face of a pack that includes McKay. McKay had the judgment, takes the mark, goes wide. This is Simon Fletcher. He's at left half back. He kicks it up towards the wing. Jones will come hard, and he does and takes the mark strongly. What a game he's played. Anthony Jones, one of the good guys of AFL football, goes across the ground. It was too tall for Bootsma. Koutafidis looks tired. He scrambles a kick towards half forward. Brown storming up the ground. Kicks it back towards half forward. It'll be back shortly, though. Bradley leads in the race. Camporelli comes across. Rides Fletcher off the ball, or was it Black? Black it was. Bradley kicks back towards the middle, taken by Koutafidis. Awkward hand pass for Massey. Controls it reasonably well. Goes looking for Rice, who tries to get through. Held a long time. No free kick. Parker dives on top of it. Whistle, bounce.
They just need someone with a bit of poise, Carlton, don't they? Just a couple of little skill errors. One from Kouta then. Oh, actually, that's a couple from Kouta. One of the handball and a couple of minutes ago. The kick that went towards Lee Brown. Just someone with a bit of poise to set a goal.
Charging in was Fletcher. Down he went. Bradley. Horizontal, got it away. Backwell hurriedly. Kicks inside the 50. Brown will need to go. Crashing into him, Silvani. Brown dives after the football with great courage. It squirts out. Taken by Grover. Grover breaks away. Not a particularly good kick. Justly as Culpet got a hand to it. Coming up is Fletcher. Well played. Gets it to Ratton from 45. He stubs it goalward. It takes a Carlton bounce, but across the line behind.
Well, it's happening really on both sides at the moment. Perhaps being the first game, they've been pretty tired. They've been going at it all night, and just slowly, just some turnovers and some errors by both sides are creeping in. And really, it's going to come down now to the side that can just control the ball a little bit better.
How dearly both coaches would love this. Backwell had it knocked away, recovers brilliantly, heads goalward, 35 metres out and closing, kicks it.
Well, I use the word poise, Maney, and I don't think if Anthony Jones, and look, he's made one mistake tonight and that was it. He hasn't had a great deal of practice, you've got to say, over the last few years of kicking out from full back. Shane Parker's done a little bit tonight, so has Heath Black, but that was a poor decision from him, no poise whatsoever.
And actually, when you think about it, it's twice in this last quarter they've gone short. They've paid the penalty once, they could have done it twice, so perhaps they need to start going a bit long.
Just under 13 minutes remaining in this one. Margin 7 points now. Dockers on top. The Blues have got the last 2 goals. Goals they desperately needed. Allen, brilliantly done. Likewise, Ratton steps around Cook, kicks inside the 50. Silvani was being held. No free kick as he's getting one. Belatedly, advantage is paid. Koutafidis goes in. Put the difference.
Well, they put their guns in the middle.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
Allen and Ratton. They're the best. Oh, there's a bit going on there. Cooter getting into young Brown. Shorts Parker putting his 2 bobs worth in. They just got to be careful. They just got to remain focused because we have got a ball game on our hands. Unbelievable that Allen would go into the centre and give it down the Ratton. The best combination of ruck and hard sentiment going around in the comp.
Well, Allen's just such a beautiful tap ruckman, isn't he? And Brett Ratton is, as you sort of mentioned, the best sort of person in under close. And just read it very, very well.
What a start to the season. A point the difference. Just over 12 and a half minutes to go. They need to set a clearance now to the Dockers. Carr throws it on the boot, going back and taking a fine mark as Bootsma. He's played a wonderful game. Inside the centre square, Brad Bootsma swings it out wide, intended for Modra. He's kicked 4 goals. He's close to the boundary line. He lets it run on. It's a long way to go down there.
Yeah, you hit it on the head there, Dennis. It, you know, but the same point, you know, Tony Modra's leading out that way, and they probably get sucked into giving it to him more often than not.
It's very hard to ignore Tony's lead, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Tossed in. In front, Allen directs it down. The hand pass came from Hazelby. Woods, McManus deep in the pocket. Can he kick truly from there? He threads the eye of the needle. It's a goal. How about that?
Well, I tell you what, that's a great reply. And what about the quick hands? I think the first one was Woods.
Yep.
And the second one, I can't recall who it was who got it over to McManus, but they were both very lightning hands there. You mentioned hands of Ratton earlier on in the game, but they were just as quick. And it's come from a boundary throw, and let's have a look at this. Paul Hazelby, well, there you go. No, little wonder. We talked about a person that has poise and very good with his hands and very short. And Sean McManus, well, wouldn't say he's always a straight kick, but couldn't get any kick straighter than that.
So it's punch and counter punch here at Subiaco Oval. 16-9, 15-8. Allen charges in. Up early was Longmuir. Cook had it. Fletcher falls to the ground, got it away. Carr under pressure, kicks it back towards the centre circle. Ratton knocks it down. You wouldn't want to be in there. It's tough. McManus gets the hand pass away. Grover, interesting kick. Ricochets towards Allen, coming through his Cook, chopped off by Camporelli. Arches the back and runs away. Kicks towards half forward. Koutafidis will need to stretch. Couldn't control it. The rush showing just a little bit. Bandy got it to Grover. Surely that's holding the ball.
Yep.
Koutafidis, great work right there. The second effort. He's got the footy down towards left half forward.
Great smother by Freeborn in the middle earlier as well, Dennis.
Koutafidis towards the pocket. Silvani, awkward half volley, goes after it. Does he keep it in? Yes, he does. Ratton dragged off it. Good perseverance by Brown at close quarters to Bandy. Bandy clears the zone. High ball back towards the side. And a great mark is taken by Cook.
That's the second one he's done like that tonight. He's not afraid to put his body on the line, is Troy Cook.
Cook forward of half back, kicks it up towards the wing. Coming through is Simon Fletcher, and that was clever. Not a spectacular, but
go wide.
Very good mark. Goes looking for Houghton, closing quickly was Longmuir. Houghton, the clever mark, great poise, kept his footing, gives it to Bradley. Bradley spots Ratton. Ratton is 30 metres out, and Culpert says stop.
That was a brilliant kick because Steve Silvani started leading, and Lee Brown was right on. He was leading directly at Bradley, and the natural I guess the natural kick would have been to kick to the full forward, but just his ability to spot Ratton running the same way as Bradley in the middle of the ground was unbelievable.
7 points, shrinks to 1. Ratton gets the goal.
Talk about raining goals at the moment in this quarter. Neither side is giving up. And the ability then of Carlton just to take it from, I suppose, what you'd call an area where there was a lot of players from both sides. They've switched it across to the other side where they had 2 extra players. So they've taken it away from the danger zone. And as you said, Ben, the experience then of Bradley to just spot.
Cook's just come out of the centre there, mate. Cook out of the centre. He was been important the last couple of minutes in there.
105 plays 104. Carlton with a string of goals there. Rucks go at it again. Allen up early. Longmuir, though, recovers well, taken high. No free kick, scrambles it forward. Bootsma again. McManus has been very handy since coming on. Pulls it back, looking for Modra. He's under the ball. Manton was up. Modra could have almost got a free then. Manton got him on the way down. Pavlich, he's lassoed out there by Beaumont. He hooks it back towards the middle. Charging in was Manton. Socket off the ground by a Docker. Manton is hurt.
That's off
slow to get up.
Yeah.
Showed a lot of courage, didn't he?
Yes, totally put his body on the line there to Glenn Manton.
Well, he's slow to get back on to Modra. Manton's actually calling Beaumont to go on to Modra.
Knocked down by Allen decisively into the path of Bradley. Hacks it off the ground. Here's an opportunity for Backwell. He's got legitimate toe. Comes across half back. Hooks it up towards the wing. Taken by Culpet. Looks back in the rear vision mirror there. The hand pass a little untidy. Taken by Rice to Bradley. A chance for Carlton to grab the lead. He kicks inside the 50. Silvani's got it. Nobody in the square. Players flooding back inside the 50. Silvani may have been touched by Brown. It was. It wanders down towards the pocket. Grover comes in and knocks it out of bounds ahead of Houghton.
Ben, do you reckon it might have been in a situation there? I know he was trying to get it on quick, but perhaps he only really had one option. It wasn't a good one, but just waited up and, you know, perhaps just tried to find someone spare.
Yeah, the goal square was free. I think it was fair enough to have a crack, but just the kicking skills of Craig Bradley the last 2 minutes, when the game is there to be won, that's why he's a champion.
Dockers by a point. Whitnell tries to hook it down behind. Ratton snaps. Good-looking effort. Scores a level.
Could have been dangerous, couldn't it, having all that space over the back there. You must close off all the exits, and there was no one there for the Dockers.
Another boundary throw-in when they've caused the Dockers a bit of, well, a few problems. By the way, that's number 35 in the stats department for Brett Ratton.
Brilliant, isn't it, eh? Now, is Shane going to go long or is he going to go short?
I must admit, I do get a little bit worried when he's got the ball in his hands. The scores are level.
Go long,
He's a man.
He's my man, except when he's kicking out from full back.
You can't put that rider on. There's Parker there.
Good decision, Shane.
Goes for distance. Houghton camped in front, comes back on them. Allen tried to punch away, but it spills behind. McManus kicks down towards half forward, taken by Fletcher. Arriving quickly was Cook, storming through and held with that. It was McKay. No free kick. Down goes Woods. He's after the footy again. It's tough in there. Camporelli charged down. Woods. Woods' hand pass towards half forward. Cook almost bumped into the footy. Swooping on it. Black runs to 50. Normally a good finisher. This is a long kick. It's a twirling kick. It's a goal.
Well, that's a lifting goal, isn't it, really, at this sort of stage of the game? They've both worked very, very hard, and there was probably no one better. Well, there was no one better, I suppose, in the Dockers side to kick a ball on the run than Heath Black. He is just absolutely sensational. He's kicked it from 50 and it's gone through by about 10. It's a massive kick. And it's just really an exciting game and a great game to watch for the first one for the season.
Dockers back on top. Growing up, his football heroes were Paul Kelly, Anthony Stevens and Ben Allen. Heath Black, that explains a lot. Close to the centre circle confrontation there eventually. Free ball towards half forward. Knocked away from Koutafides. Carried forward Carr, I don't think so. Was it holding the ball? Umpire doesn't think so. Ball up.
Well, just have a look at this ball up. Just forward of centre for Carlton. It'll be man on man everywhere, but you can bet your bottom dollar that Ratton and Bradley will be around the contest. I know I'm sure Fletch will be in there. McManus has been pretty good, but a very important clearance here.
Let's go at it again. Longmuir, he's belied his age at times. He's played some good footy tonight. Thumped out of there by Bandy, but directly to Camporelli. Camporelli kicking towards half forward. McManus stretches, didn't touch the footy. Coming up the ground, Silvani. Over the ball is Rice. Falls over, got it to Silvani though. He heard a voice, obviously. Back well, deep in the pocket. Pulls it back. Culpet arrives quickly. With him is Norrish. Norrish tries to push it across to Grover. Houghton slides in, did well. Culpet keeps it alive. Black gets back. And that could be important. The margin is suddenly 5 points. Still plenty of time. Just under 7.5 minutes to go. Well played by Culpet.
I reckon the hearts of the Fremantle Dockers fans were going then. Norrish probably should have taken that ball over in the first incidence.
Nobody's feeling it more than Peter Bell and Luke Toyer on the bench here, I can tell you.
I bet. Wayne Britton trying for his first victory. I'm sure he thought coming across this was a game his side would possibly win. Now it's really in the balance, but they're not out of it. Ratton the high ball to the 50. Big leap. Lappin juggled it. Mark not paid. Plays on. Runs inside the 50. Runs out of space. Gives it to Rice. Rice snaps it back to Woods full forward. Going back is Black. Last line of defence stuff. He kicked the last goal. Now at the opposite end of the ground. He runs it up towards half back. Heath Black goes for distance. One-on-one contest. Camporelli. Great mark. I thought he was held in any case.
Ooh.
What a contrast in the coaches' boxes. Some old heads there, some wonderful footballers just looking on. I've seen all of this before, but no doubt inwardly they're riding every bump. Ball comes from Silvani. Allen inside the centre square. Kicks inside the 50. Needing to go back was Coops. He opted out. Bandy couldn't get there in time. Koutafidis has taken the mark, and he will kick from about 48 metres out. And a goal here will put Carlton in front by a point.
Well, she's a tough shot, that's for sure. But
I wouldn't back against him.
no, I was just going to say, yeah.
It opens up for a right footer, doesn't it? Koutafidis just inside the 50, hangs it out to the right, stays right, and a mark is taken by Houghton. It came down poised to hand pass, didn't release it, sharp angle.
Gee, you just had to make contact with the ball then, didn't you? If you're a Fremantle defender, if you made contact, it was at worst going to go through for a point. A couple of boys flew for the mark, but Houghton's take that without even taking his feet off the ground in the end. It's a poor mistake.
Have a look at this Grover. This is very, very smart. He's trying to get out here so that Houghton can't run around, rather than just staying on the mark as a lot of players would.
Houghton snaps.
Done it.
He's kicked the goal. Carlton lead. What a comeback.
Well, we've had 9 goals in this quarter. That's a pretty big effort from both sides. 1 point the difference now, and really both sides can take a pat on the back for the game. Anthony Koutafidis, and as you said here, Ben, just one of the Fremantle boys just had to force it over the line.
Yep.
So now it makes it very, very interesting. There couldn't be too long to go, and only 1 point in it.
No substitute for quality. Carlton have got plenty of that. 17-10 to 17-9. Longmuir slaps it down. Speaking of quality, as if on cue, Bradley wrestled down by McManus, holding the ball. It'll be a Dockers free. Fixed him.
Great chase, wasn't it, from McManus?
Could it be a match-winning tackle?
Well, they needed the ball away from this centre bounce. There's no question about that. There's a lot of players, as you'd expect, in the Dockers forward line.
McManus goes looking for Modra. Is he being held there? I would have thought so. No free kick. The ball close to the boundary line. That's a couple of times now, and I don't know what the umpires are doing. Tony Modra.
Watch his jumper. Just see if you think it's been...
Well, and the umpire's only about 15 metres away, because they're playing to the outside on occasion, so the angle should have been fine. It seems that no matter what he does, Modra, he doesn't get the free kicks. Still, game still continues, and it's there to be won. Coming through as Freeborn, he didn't have the footy. Should have got a free. Play on. Fletcher kicks it up towards the wing. Awkward half volley for Koutafidis. He in turn could have been held. Grover grabs it, so the umpires, let's assume, are going to let them play over the last 5 minutes.
Cook will be coming off with the blood rule, Dennis. He copped a big one in the nose there. And fair to say, the Dockers bench very unhappy about Modra's lack of free kicks.
Well, they changed the rule for Mods, and he still can't get a kick.
Yeah, you would have thought he would have been favoured by that rule change.
Or interpretation of the rule, I guess, not effectively a rule change, was it?
No, just enforcing it. Wayne Britton. Boundary throw in. Houghton wrestling there over the top. Koutafidis. Houghton again at close quarters. Backwell tries to get through. No passage available. McManus lost it. Ratton bounces it off McManus, gains about 15 metres and out of bounds. 4.5 minutes to go.
Well, there's still plenty of time, Dennis, with 4.5 minutes to go. So both sides, well, certainly Carlton's point of view, wouldn't we want to be trying to play on the defensive side? They still need to keep attacking both teams.
Carlton by a point.
I was about to say, I like the look of Colpert. We haven't seen much of him in his career, but he's played pretty well in a pressurised game. A free kick to Carlton in that ruck contest.
It was taken high, Houghton.
They've got a very open forward line again, as usual.
Forward of the wing, goes looking for Silvani. He's been very important, Silvani, and that's a great mark.
Jumped nice and early, didn't really give Brown a chance then.
Well, it's not far from the position where he took a mark a couple of minutes ago, but he's deliberately slowed down. He's, well, probably said that to himself. I'm going to have a shot, let's just take your time, but it could be a match-winning kick.
Stephen Silvani will kick from right on the 50. Magnificent looking kick. He split the middle. Wonderful kick.
I'll tell you what, Maney, if the rest of the season's like this match, we're in for a bumper year. It's just an amazing game. But just the work of Brett Ratton, he has been outstanding. Started pretty, well, didn't start slowly, but he had his hands full with Fletcher. Fletcher was getting a hell of a lot of the footy. But just he's been able to just get yards for his team when the heat's really been on. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, you'd love to have a Brett Ratton in every single side, wouldn't you?
So the Blues by 7 points, 3 3/4 minutes to go. And the Dockers need a quick takeaway and a score. Allen with other ideas, hooks it down. Rice gives it up though. Storming out of the centre is Black. Here come the Dockers. Downwards full forward. Modra up in front, waiting behind a chance there for Woods. The hand pass comes across from Pavlich. Now an opportunity for Bootsma. Bootsma got it from Walker. High up and under, turns the defence around. Back they go, Massey and Manton. And the ball is knocked across the line, and riding that one home, Damien Drum.
Well, you've got to take your hats off to both sides, and if the Dockers don't get over the line, then Damien Drum can certainly be happy with their effort. They've certainly taken it right up to Carlton. In fact, we're quite convincingly beating them in the first half. But to Carlton's credit, their old heads, as we've sort of mentioned, have just come back and just got them back into this game.
Camporelli, precise kick, finds Beaumont. 6 points the difference, so a draw certainly not out of the question.
Just slowing it down a little bit now, Carlton. The players are starting to realise those old heads. Let's not rush it now. Let's just try to pick off players.
You got to say it's been a remarkable turnaround for Carlton. 10 goals to 5 it was at half-time.
Fantastic performance by them. And even in this term, they looked on a couple of times. Whitnell, strong pack mark on the outer side. Players very tired now. Not too many of them left the ground there.
Dennis, it's interesting down here. Hard to stop the blood flow from Troy Cook's face, so they can't put him back on, but they need him.
They need to keep attacking, Blues. There's a lot of time left, enough for the Dockers to get over the top in this match.
Loose ball at the back. Bradley runs onto it, runs to the 50. Any score will be handy. Silvani is favoured by the kick, almost the mark. Couldn't hang on. He's straddled by Brown, sliding in down there. I think it's Massey who's wrestled across the line by Walker and a behind.
That was brilliant play then. I think he realised Massey, Dennis, was the man, what the score was and how important a point is to this match. It was almost, he was like a try in rugby league. He just got the ball across the line.
Brown, high ball up towards the wing. Koutafides reaching over the top. Bandy could have almost got a free. It spills to Backwell. Oh, good evasion by Backwell. Culpet from 80 metres out, hoisted high. 2 Dockers and Silvani. At the back, then a chance for Carr. They need to be precise coming out here. Time their enemy. Carr, no one to kick to. Goes for the boundary line. Almost chopped off out there by Lappin. It's across the boundary.
And got the best result really in that situation. You mentioned it, Dennis. They had Craig Bradley sitting back there on the half-back line. And if Carr just had to try to go for the long one, she would have been straight back again.
So a throw in about 60 metres from Carlton's attacking goal. Longmuir, nicely done by the youngster. Claimed, threw it on the boot. Bradley has been wonderful in the last 10 minutes. Slides in, heard a voice. Loose ball in the centre square. McManus slides in. He was thinking, but he couldn't control the footy. Down goes Backwell. It spills wide. Oh, well done by Lappin. Cleverly, Camporelli. The hand pass to Bradley. Bradley goes out very wide. Ratton takes the mark just inside the boundary line. Spots a teammate. Comes back to Camporelli. Meters in the clear. Told to play on. Sets it up. Down towards Allen. Allen is up almost the mark. Spills. Grover comes away. The clock is running on the Dockers. They need a goal. McManus meters in the clear. He needs a run. The margin is 7 points. Just over a minute to go. McManus goes looking for Modra. Modra up in front. Couldn't complete the mark. Tries to deflect it across to Pavlich. Pavlich the hurried kick. Allen's in the road. Well played. Releases McKay. And the dangerous pass for the Blues, at least momentarily. Kicks back towards midfield. Great mark, Bootsma. Hits the ground running. Punks it back in again. High ball, watch for Modra. Up he goes, couldn't hang on. Bounces back to Modra. What's the difference?
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. You thought Carlton, just after that Pavlich socket ball had gone to the central corridor, they had done enough, but that mark there that Bootsman's just take on the replay was from an Andrew McKay kick. A very, very dangerous kick. He was running freely out from the back line. He should have released to the boundary line and just had a set play boundary throw in from that position. I thought it was just a dangerous risk from the All-Australian at this time of the game. Resulted in a goal against him anyway.
Tony Modra, 5 goals, what a finish. Carlton have dropped his spear man back. That's Houghton. His man went with him. Kudafiti's got it to Allen. Loose ball in the middle. Bandy tries to get the hand pass out of there. Longmuir taken front on. Over the ball is Kudafiti's. His claim. The Dockers need to get it out of here. It spills wide. Taken by Bradley. Well played by the veteran. Kicks for space. We're down to 15 seconds. Running back is Jones. Last roll of the dice. Time for the Dockers. Gets it to Carr. Oh, good tackle out there by Backwell. Comes back to Jones. 9 seconds to go. Kicks towards midfield. Oh. Big leap by Coops. Loose ball Walker. Wrestle to the ground. That will be it. Dockers will go down. Norris picks it up. A point the difference. Carlton win 18-11 to 18-10. Jubilation in one camp. Well, subdued jubilation. Damien Drum can't believe it. Neither can his players. And Carlton, like a good side, have plucked something when all seemed lost. 18-11 to 18-10, the slenderest of margins. And certainly at halftime they looked gone. Early in this term they made their move and Fremantle met the challenge, but Carlton simply kept coming.
Yeah, and part of that reason is you mentioned, you hit it on the head, Ben, earlier on the game when you said it's going to be the older players or the experienced players, Carlton, to get back. Just quickly have a listen. Bradley's had 30 possessions, Camporelli's had 34 and Ratton's had 38.
Here's Craig Bradley with the barra.
Rattles, what a win. Oh, geez, we made hard work of that. That wasn't fun at all. It's a shocking second quarter from us. They played really well. We just fought our way back, good character. And Sauce up forward in the last quarter. He was sensational, wasn't he? Rattles, you're 37 years old. In the last quarter, you were going beautifully. Look at all the young guys, Scotty, Freeborn, Rats, and especially Sauce up there. He was just incredible in the last quarter. It was great.
Now, you've played in some big games. Was this a big one?
That was a fantastic win. It's always good to get the first one. 4 points you're away now, and we're looking down the barrel, so, you know, they played really well. They're a bit stiff, but we'll take the win.
Listen to that song ringing out, eh?
Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful.
Well done. Well done, Braddles. Congratulations. Well done, the Dockers, too. What a fantastic effort.
Yep.
Damien Drum.
He'd have to be very happy with the way they played, but disappointed, wouldn't he?
That's right.
It was a game they could have won.
They've grabbed defeat from the jaws of victory, I think. Amazing. But you've got to give full credit. I mean, it was 5 goals to 10, as I mentioned at half-time, and they really put the pressure on, but it was their big guns, wasn't it? Kudafiti's, Ratton, Allen in the middle, Bradley and Silvani up forward. Not necessarily by the amount of pill that he did get Silvani, but he just made contest after contest in that forward zone.
Well, and you saw what they did. They just brought all of their players up on the half-forward line, made it a one-on-one contest. They went long to him, and then they just got all their players to run down, and, you know, it was just a very good plan that worked out for them.
Yeah, but a couple of the unsung heroes, I reckon, for Carlton. I thought young Backwell was outstanding.
Yep.
Just went really tight in the contest. He was very good. And young Culpert as well, a guy we haven't seen much of, but showed some good signs.
And congratulations to Wayne Britton in charge tonight, and the Blues get home. Heartbreaker for the Dockers, but perseverance everything. No substitute for class, we said that. And when you look at Craig Bradley, that applies during the match or after the match. Just a wonderful ambassador of Australian rules football. Back shortly.